All right.
So I'm gonna send these off to Corey because he told me that's what to do. So I will mix the audio and send it over to him.
Okay.
Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he wants me to send all of them individually. I think I'll just do that.
Sometimes individual is the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what I do, because I'm going to try this. As a matter of fact, I should try this next week.
Yeah. No, we've done this. We've done this quite a few times already.
Okay.
And it's worked out pretty well. Like when Josh and I do our retro pickups episodes, this is what we use exclusively. When we had Eddie on this last Sunday, this is what we used exclusively. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we're recording there. I'm going to start recording here. Okay, any questions?
Wait. PS5 and PS4's revamped PlayStation Plus sub allegedly outlined in a report. Oh shit! I'll read that later. All right, what were you about to ask me?
I was just going to say, do you have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints before we begin?
No. Like if this is going like the last show, like shit, it's gonna be fun.
I had to go into my Xbox fridge to grab a beer.
Oh.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Standard Definition, the entertainment podcast show of the Boss Rush Network. I am one of your hosts, Stoy Jovic. I'm glad I spelled my whole name out in that intro, just in case I forgot what my name was. It's weird hosting a different kind of episode, a different kind of show.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like kind of like I'm in someone else's underwear or something like that.
Oh, don't say it like that. That sounds kind of dirty.
Yeah, I do. All right. I feel like I'm in someone else's shoes. Let's just say that. Someone else's shoes.
That's kind of dirty too, but yeah, it's a little bit better.
I feel like I'm someone else.
Bingo.
Is that better? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
This is a family-friendly podcast, okay? We expect 2-year-olds to really get into Mass Effect in these episodes. So yeah. All right, anyway, back to the intro. With me tonight, obviously you've heard him. You've seen him if you're watching the video. He's wearing a sleeveless shirt like he usually does, and he's flexing right now. Like he's sitting there with his arms crossed, like, yep.
I put my hands specifically under my biceps so they bulge just a little more.
Yeah, so you get that little bulge right there. Oh yeah, I know what you're doing. Because I do the same thing too. You get your hand underneath the bicep just to push it out just a little bit more.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like a very low key flex.
Oh yeah, quite literally in that sense. My man LeRon Dawkins is here too.
Hey, what's poppin', everyone?
You got to go in closer to the mic. What's poppin', everyone?
You know, I don't have a Barry White voice, so you know, I gotta lean in, be all sexy with it, like what's poppin'?
No, the you know what? Always I go to the gym and I always get like, you know, I try not to hog mirror space because I know there's always going to be some dude behind me that is doing something that he requires himself to look at the mirror the entire time. And I'm like, I don't want to be that guy to be like, I'm getting in your way and, you know, I'm ruining your flex, bro. But I'm very conscious of that. Like, I'm like, I want to be respectful. Like, all right, I'm sorry. I know you want to, like, you're doing those tricep push downs and you need to look at your triceps the entire time. So I'm gonna.
Oh, what are you talking about? It's about form, bro. It's about my form. Like
bro,
like
you figure it out after one rep. One rep. This is what I don't get. You figure out the form after one rep, then you're like, okay, I got this. I don't need to look at myself in the mirror. Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, I need to make sure my back is perfectly flat. My ass is stuck out. My elbow is like 30 degrees above the plane.
And then make sure when you forcefully exhale, you look cool as shit doing it.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You don't want you look like you're pushing out a dookie or something like that. Like,
oh yeah. Which you see that a lot at the gym. It's like what man? You had bad pre-workout? What's going on?
You okay, dude? Actually, I think I read a study that, you know, because in tennis, they grunt when they hit. And it actually gives them a 2% power boost when they grunt.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that, which is funny because it's I don't know, like when you're not watching tennis but you have it on the background, you just hear all
Yeah.
It's like, what is going on?
Yeah. But it works. It helps. I mean, they have to scientifically prove it to make sure that it works. But
It's like, oh my God, Tina, what is happening?
right. So LeRon is on the Crossroads, the PlayStation podcast, which
Yep.
may or may not be. I'm just going to leave it there. Never mind. I shouldn't speak too far ahead because probably when this comes out, it'll already have happened, and this will be old news.
Yeah, possibly.
But yeah, so he's the host of the Crossroads PlayStation podcast. I'm the host of the EXP Cast, a video game podcast on the network as well. But tonight, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Mass Effect. More specifically, we're here to talk about Mass Effect 2. Which arguably is the best Mass Effect of the series.
Arguably, yes. Yeah. I love Mass Effect 2, but there's something. I love Mass Effect 2, but there's something about Mass Effect 3 that is just like it's Mass Effect 3 had so much content. I think is why I like it.
And we'll get to that when we get to that. But
yeah.
The reason why I like Mass Effect 3 more was that there was closure with everything that I was doing.
Exactly. Yeah, like that was one thing. That's one thing I really respect about BioWare and how they actually pulled off the series in the end. Like they closed. They did their. I don't think there was anything left hanging open except the ending.
Yeah, with the ending, which is what pissed people off the most.
Yeah.
But all the decisions that you made leading from 1 to 2 to 3, most of those had closure, if not all of them. Especially with a lot of the characters that you had, and a lot of the characters could either be there or not be there depending on how you play this game.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny because I was actually reading when I was doing my research for this game. I was reading like, so what happens if this person dies? What happens if that person dies? Who shows up in 3? Because the only canon character that actually survives from 2 to 3 is Shepard. Everybody else.
Is that true? Well, 2 to 3. Okay, yeah.
So,
I thought you meant from 1 to 2 because technically Shepard did kind of like bite the dust at the very beginning of this game.
Right. Yeah. So, but so we'll get to that in a minute. But housekeeping. This is Standard Definition, the place where the gang from the Boss Rush Network talks about video games, movies, television, and music entertainment. Oh, we're a gang now, huh? If you're one of our patrons, you can check out the show early on Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Rush Network or on YouTube, podcast services, or our website 2 weeks later for free. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Remember, you can find all of our content on bossrush.net. That is on the interwebs. You are going to have to go into an internet browser of your choice to go to that website. I actually finally got back into the writing game, so I just put out...
welcome back, brother.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking like, I just want to get back into writing again. I think just because I'm in school right now and I'm doing a lot of writing, and I'm like, I want to write other stuff. I don't want to write stuff on hormones and friggin' diet.
Oh, look at you. Game review, Martha's Dead.
Yeah, I just
Dragon Age 4 right in the middle of production. Look at you.
Yeah. Just coming out the gate hot.
Hercules.
Yep. I forgot how needy David is.
Did you see he was putting out the calls for banners?
No, even just like my Dragon Age news piece, he was like, you have to quote your source. I'm like, I did. And he's like, no, you got to do it on the bottom of the page. I was like, man, come on. That's okay. I just I have no ill will against that man, but he runs a tight ship. Let me tell you that. He runs a tight ship, and for good reason. I mean, we want good content. We want quality content. So,
all
right.
Yeah. Well, I've got a weekly thing that I add now. Like it's well, I don't know. Like things are changing real fast around here, but it's the notable games coming to PlayStation week to week and stuff like that. But content's always changing, so
yeah,
who knows?
Well, we always got to go with the flow. So anyway, so Mass Effect 2.
Yes.
1 month after the devastating Geth attack on the Citadel, the galactic community struggles to rebuild. The Alliance fleet made a tremendous sacrifice to save the Citadel. Now, interestingly enough, this intro pops up when you first start Mass Effect 2. Now, if you transfer your save from Mass Effect 1 to 2, this intro is different depending on what you do at the end. If you save the console, if you put in a new, if you let the console die, and depending on how you want the console to be formed. But this intro is if you've saved the console. The Alliance fleet made a tremendous sacrifice to save the Citadel console and earned humanity's membership in this prestigious group. Now the console is forced to respond to evidence that the Reapers, quote unquote, enormous machines that eradicate all organic civilization every 50,000 years, have returned. To quell the rumors, the council has sent Commander Shepard and the Normandy to wipe out the last pockets of Geth resistance. Officially, they blamed the invasion on the Geth and their leader, a rogue Spectre. But for those who know the truth, the search for answers is just the beginning. Boom. Mass Effect 2 logo.
Yeah.
So, to start things off, no one really believes the Reapers are a threat.
Yeah.
Everyone's still in denial that the Reapers are even a thing.
Which I don't understand how, because like a giant ass scarab beetle looking ship
Kind of comes out of nowhere,
attacked the Citadel, and depending on what was going on, like it destroyed like the Destiny Ascension, which was carrying the Council.
Yeah.
Depending on which way you decide if you were going to be Paragon or Renegade, there was that possibility. So I don't understand how like they kind of like was like, okay, that wasn't a thing.
Well, yeah, because I think they chalked it up to that was just a Geth ship. It was the
Dummies.
Geth. It was the Geth that was controlled by Saren that attacked the Citadel. And you would think through some reverse engineering of the wreckage of that Reaper, they would kind of look at it and be like, this don't look like Geth technology.
That's the other thing too. Like no one studied the debris.
Yeah. No one looked at it and be like, man, this looks old.
You would think those nosy ass Solarians would have looked at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Out of anybody, they'd want to pour through that wreckage.
Yeah.
Well, here we are.
They're letting Cerberus fuck with it. Oops, spoiler.
Let's not go there yet. But the Citadel, to hear like Commander Shepard say, "Oh, there's like more of these coming," and everyone's like, "More of them? Get out of here! Go like investigate like pockets of like Geth activity." And it's like, okay, so they're going around,
They're already looking in the wrong direction.
Yep. And their ship gets attacked. But so that's the kind of like startup of the series, but let's talk about the gameplay elements of this game first. This is a third-person action adventure with RPG-like elements similar to the first one. However, there's a lot of differences in this game. Do you want to read off the differences that I wrote up?
Yeah. Let's see. Actually, wait, did I get lost? Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so Mass Effect 2 is a third-person action adventure with RPG-like elements, leveling up and putting points into abilities and skills. That's still there, be it's more streamlined for different. The game definitely has a more action-oriented feel. Like it still has its RPG skeleton there, but it's not exactly the same. Which kind of miffs some of the RPG purists, But
Yeah.
but in the same on the other side of the coin, it essentially made the game faster paced, which I think we can all say that was a well needed improvement, because I said it in the last episode standard definition for Mass Effect 1. I love the game. The pacing was just slow because like it was too RPG-ish, and when I say RPG-ish, I'm like you talk to every goddamn body, just like this is freaking a massive expansive RPG and stuff like that, which
especially when when you go into like trying to divvy up your points, that tree, I mean it wasn't a tree, but it was like a line of like abilities and stuff like that, It's like you're spending a lot of time figuring out like where to put them, whereas Mass Effect 2, like you said, streamlined it, made it smaller, and made the kind of decisions on where to go with your ability points, I guess, be a little bit more impactful.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. So there's that. Also, the conversation wheels for the Paragon, which are the good decisions and situations, and the renegade evil dialogue options, were better pointed out to you. So you didn't have to guess if you're about to be the bad guy. In your next remark to your character, to the characters you're interacting with and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was good, um, but also. But also, one of the cool things about it is you actually had Paragon and Renegade actions now that happened during cutscenes and during dialogue,
Mm-hmm.
where you had a chance to actually break script. Basically, that's what it felt like. You broke script, because
Yeah.
you'll see a Paragon icon, which is the blue icon in the left hand side of the screen. That gives you a chance to break script or break character and be a good guy for you be uncharacteristically good for a moment. Or in the bottom right hand corner, there was a red icon for Renegade, and that was your chance to break script and just be like fuck you. This is how it's going and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Speaking, well, actually, no. Let me finish this, and then we start talking more about it. I have something I really want to comment about this game.
Yeah.
All right, so Mass Effect 2 focused more on the action elements, less on item pickups and RPG point distribution, which I did mention earlier. There are more weapon classes, which I'm a fan of, and I also like that there was more flexibility for you to use any weapon you wanted in this game versus
Mm-hmm.
Mass Effect 1. Because Mass Effect 1, when you picked your class, you were kind of stuck with what type of weapons that person could use. Now, I did like how if your character, if Shepard had a certain class, from the first game that carried over, he could still use any weapon, but his accuracy or his effectiveness with the weapon was kind of hindered. But
Mm-hmm.
he could still use it,
Yeah.
versus not using it at all. There thermal clips were introduced in the game, and I know for sure that was a big sore spot for gamers,
Mm-hmm.
like thermal clips. But I'm just gonna say it, what the century they're in and stuff like that. There should be universal ammo. No gun should be having specialized ammo. If they're all energy based weapons anyway.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was one of the dumbest arguments. It's kind of like the argument when Dead Space 3 had universal ammo. Isaac Clarke's an engineer. He fashioned weapons out of tools that he used in his job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I think this man is smart enough to turn anything he makes into a weapon, and anything that he picks up, it can be bullets for the damn thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, it definitely is interesting because I think it was kind of described as saying, obviously, one of the major problems with a lot of the weapons in the first one was that it would overheat and there would be a significant cooldown period. So I think the developers brought that in as to kind of make the action more fast paced, but also they explained it in the game to say, well, this is to help alleviate that cooldown period in between shooting elements. And I think obviously they poked a joke at it in Mass Effect 3 in the Citadel DLC, which, man, I really think we need to have just a single podcast just talking about
talk about the Citadel.
Talk about Citadel DLC. I'm really highly considering that.
Why couldn't they make the Citadel just a standalone game by itself?
I would have paid $60 for that.
Yeah,
I would have paid a full price game for that.
It was, man. It's like Mass Effect meets Scooby Doo. It was crazy.
Yep.
we're getting ahead of ourselves though.
Yeah, we are for sure.
Yeah, but I think but the one thing that was universally welcome about the changes to Mass Effect 2 from Mass Effect 1 was no more goddamn grenades.
Yeah, the little frisbee grenades that you didn't even know if they would land or hit. You would just throw it and be you'd be looking did it land? Did it hit? Nothing happened. Okay. Those things were useless.
Yeah.
Well, obviously they brought grenades back in Mass Effect 3, but that's, they made it a little bit better. So,
So that was the major changes from Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2. Like I said, it's streamlined. It's much more cohesive as far as the gameplay elements go. You can still bumble around and do the RPG aspect of the game. That was still there because it's built into the bones of the game itself, of the series itself. But overall, if you were one of those people that let's look at it. It was a Western RPG made for Western gamers.
Yeah.
And
let's look at it that way.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's kind of
exactly. So it's pick up and play.
Yep. It's because I guess you could say maybe Western gamers are a little bit more, I guess, short attention
Impatient.
span. Yeah, there you go,
Yeah.
impatient.
Yep.
So, yeah, you just want to kind of get into the action, not spend too much time looking at a freaking like that sphere. I liken back to my time trying to divvy my points and my spheres in Final Fantasy X
Mm-hmm.
and having a terrible time with that. And I'm just
Yeah.
like looking at this map for a while, like looking to see I could put my points here, I could put my points there, I could do that, I could do that. So annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
anyway,
Well, remember Mass Effect. In the Mass Effect scenario definition, I was talking about how you had to know what your path was like immediately from the beginning of the game because because shit like it's not like being on Eden Prime and can't open a door because you didn't sink 4 points into encryption.
yeah.
4 points, and guess what?
Which
They
thank
give you
God they took that out.
yeah,
And even
yeah,
like just like sometimes where you could pick up Omnigel. You don't
yes,
pick up Omnigel in this game anymore. But
yep.
I think that was another joke too, where it's like remember the days where you could just slap Omnigel and
Slap
everybody.
Omnigel on
Yeah.
it. Yes.
So, but yeah, like you can't like unlock chests anymore because they significantly reduce the amount of items that you pick up now, which is nice.
Mhm.
But also
You know,
another thing too. I don't think I added it in here. Um, planet mining, bro. They added planet mining.
Yeah, that was cool as shit. Like, I wasted so much time. Like, I was sucking planets dry.
Yeah.
I would go to a planet, and if Edie said it could be mined, oh, we're jumping in orbit.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did you go to the solar system?
Yes.
Did you go to Uranus?
Yes.
Did you probe Uranus?
I sure did.
I just love. I honestly, the first time I did it was the more recent playthrough. Honestly, that took me so long. I played this game like 5 times and I never did it until I finally remembered this time around. And Edie will always be like, "Oh, launching probe," or sending
Mm-hmm.
probe or whatever. And Uranus in this game is completely depleted, so you have no reason to send probes to Uranus. But you launch the probe, and Edie's like, "Really, Shepard?"
Yes.
And then she says it, probing Uranus. Love those little tiny little Easter eggs.
Yeah. Like the AI that has quips.
Edie. Anyway, so obviously mining for minerals is essential for building your ship and building other upgrades and weapons and gear and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, which this game focuses a lot on. You'll get schematics for upgrading your armor, upgrading some of your weapons, upgrading your accuracy, especially some character specific things. I know there was always like special abilities for Morden, Garrus,
Morton was
Morgan.
always needing damn element 0.
Yeah, I know, no kidding. But and even like I think Platinum was what Grunt needed for a lot of his shotgun stuff. Yeah. So yeah, there were so many other different things, and obviously you have to upgrade your ship at this point because per the content of the story, you have to have your ship ready to go. So like whatever blueprints you get to upgrade your ship's armor, upgrade the ship's weapons, drive cores, stuff like that. It's all going to matter, and you have to mine for those materials. And man, you can spend hours going to systems, dropping at planets, looking to see, is this planet rich in materials? Is it poor in materials? And then you just keep launching probes. So all right, the main story. What happens in the beginning?
All right. So, the Normandy's been deployed out to, and just investigate get the activity, and out of the blue, like a unidentified starship shows up and just starts wrecking the Normandy.
Yep.
And it's so intense and so fast that they're caught completely unaware. They don't have time. It's ripping through the little bit of shields they had, available to them and stuff like that. Basically, the Normandy gets ripped in half and stuff like that. And depending on who you actually like allowed to live during the what would they call what was the mission called? The Vermeer mission. They call it something
Vermeer, yeah.
specific. They call it something specific though, like because every game has like that critical mission because this game has its what's called the suicide mission.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mass Effect 3 has the final confrontation mission,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. I can't remember what the Vermeer one was called. But basically, whoever you saved and let die, that actually no, my bad. It was whoever you had the love interest in,
Or
from
whoever you
Mass Effect
saved.
1.
Or whoever
Yeah.
you saved.
Oh,
It was both.
it's either or. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because like
Yeah.
you either have like it's mostly either Liara or Caden and Ashley.
Ashley. Yeah.
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 And if you didn't romance either Caden or Ashley, it's always Liara.
It's Liara.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I romanced Liara in the first game. Yeah.
Everybody
As a matter of fact, I was kind of a hoe.
Yeah.
in the entire Mass Effect
I'm not
series.
surprised.
Like I didn't stick to any one person for all 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, so the person you had the most affinity with, let's put it that way.
Mhm.
Like they tell you like, hey, like we're being torn to shreds. We need to evacuate and stuff like that. But Joker is still on the bridge. So Shepard makes it his priority to drag Joker out so he can be evacuated and stuff like that. He saves Joker, but in the process, like the enemy, because I'm not going to put a name to them yet, because it's a big reveal for that.
Mhm.
The enemy basically gives like the actual death blow to the Normandy and blasts Shepard out into space. Shepard is in his he's basically in his spacesuit, but his spacesuit is not an EV suit, so he's in bad shape, and yeah, we actually see the cinematic like his oxygen vents out and he dies.
Yeah, basically, and just gets kind of blasted out into space onto the planet, and that's it.
Yeah, his body burns up too. That's the
Well, yeah.
sad part.
Yeah.
His body burns up because like he's thrust into the atmosphere, so it's basically just like how like space shuttles like enter the atmosphere, like you get that heat shear and stuff like that. So damn.
Yeah.
Thank God he was already dead before all that.
Yeah, no
Can
kidding.
you imagine?
I don't know what I wouldn't know what
being
it'd be
burned
worse.
alive of re-entry.
Yeah.
God.
So anyway, but he's not really dead though. He's not proper dead. But Cerberus picks him up, and the game kind of goes from watching him get spaced, and in the context of this, I think most of the time I may refer to Shepard as he, because you could choose either he or she.
Yeah.
If you transfer your save over from the first one, I think you have to pick the same sex.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Unless you want to switch, you want to go play the different sex, but you can't transfer the save file over, from what I understand. So,
Yeah.
because that would just screw with everybody that you meet. Anyway,
now if it was me personally, I woke up as a different gender. I'd be like, "What the fuck are y'all doing? Like,
Yeah, right?
Why would you do this?
I didn't have that before. The hell is that? Like if you woke up, if you started out as a female.
Yeah, it'd be like, you know what? I'm mad about this, but I'm gonna go to the bathroom for a few minutes. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I'm gonna use it like a helicopter for a bit, just give me a second. Always wanted to do that. Anyway, so yeah, all of a sudden you go to the character selection screen. You divvy up your points. You can change the way your character looks and the hair and stuff like that. And all of a sudden you wake up, or you see like little glimpses of you being operated on. Something about the Lazarus Project. You hear Miranda, who you'll find out later, and the other doctor kind of whispering in your ear, because they're literally stitching you back together from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
They're putting together every little bit about you, and they're sparing no expense to make sure that we get an exact copy, or like an exact like one-on-one recreation.
This is past cloning, actually. Like they're basically reconstructing you from like your base material.
Yeah.
But you've also got some enhancements, because like you are partially cybernetic. They didn't say what percentage he was cybernetic, but I think a safe estimate would be like he's about 20% cybernetic, because like there's just some things that they just could not revive in viable tissue and stuff like that. So they had to have like bionics and cybernetics to like
especially like bone structure and everything, and trying to re-stimulate the brain and the personality processes. And it's just, I mean,
that was some science.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, now we have a really good process of what sections of the brain control what, and, what processes are controlled by emotions and logic and balance and stuff. So you can only imagine like 150, 200 years from now at this point, how crazy of an understanding they have of the brain. So it's not too far from science.
Yeah.
So anyway, he wakes up. Lab is being like kind of shredded apart. You're wondering what the hell happened, like why I thought I was dead and now I'm alive and now I gotta move and I gotta attack robots and stuff. So you go through, you find out you have a great cover system, where you can snap to cover, and then also apparently there's thermal clips, which she just picks up right off the bat. You discover Jacob, who's like, "Wow, you're off ice pretty quickly," and you're Shepard, and you're like, "The hell's going on? Who the hell are you? Where the hell am I? What is going on?" And you end up meeting Miranda Lawson as a result of this. You find out one of the doctors was actually trying to destroy the base, kill Shepard, and kill everybody else on board. And,
Yeah, can we talk about Miranda's entrance for a second?
Yep.
God
damn.
Yeah, I mean, besides the fact that she's wearing like this basically suit that looks like it's this latex, poured onto her body, but her entrance was pretty badass because like like you and Jacob are fighting for your lives and stuff. You run across another scientist and stuff like that, and little do you know it, this is the guy that just gave up the base, and stuff like that. So like right when you're getting to the point where like Jacob's like this is the last door. We get here, we get to the shuttle, we're out of here and stuff like that. And you open the door and everyone and like Jacob and the other guy's like Miranda and the other guy's like I thought you were. She shoots him like right in the face, right in the face. Yeah. And she's like dead. I don't think so.
Yeah.
And then Shepard's like, "What the hell are you doing, woman?" And she's like, "Don't take pity on him. He was the guy that sold us out, and he was gonna kill you next."
Yeah, and this is where you can kind of go into your mode of like Shepard's like, "We should have given him a trial. We should have questioned him and stuff," or like you could have gone like, "That's good enough for me," and then just kind of go about your day.
Yeah,
but, you got to put. I mean, I'm gonna do this a lot because you got to put respect on Miranda's name because she is a certifiable badass, takes care of her shit. I mean, obviously, yeah, she has daddy issues and she has issues with the way she's been created and made, you know, which kind of brought up a little bit of discussion when in the Legendary Edition, they edited out some of the kind of like body flattering scenes that they put her in.
Yeah.
Which I thought, I interpreted those scenes as like they're obviously trying to tell a story of, her talking about how her body has been made perfect. But we can get to that later.
Yeah.
So anyway, you go on this ship. You end up going to meet the Illusive Man, who is the benefactor of Cerberus and basically the guy that paid to have you revived. And this is where you meet Joker. Joker comes back because, after the Normandy was lost, everybody kind of went their own separate ways, and Joker, they didn't have a plan for Joker. They just kind of left him out in the dust. So Joker's like, well, when this opportunity popped up, I jumped at the opportunity.
Actually, the way Joker explained it, because Shepard was gone for, was it 3 years?
I think 2 or 3 years. Yeah.
I think 2 sounds about right.
Yeah.
Shepard was gone. Shepard was pronounced dead, presumed dead for 2 years, and this is also something that helped like the Council and the Alliance like push aside the whole Reaper thing. Like the biggest person that was screaming that, hey, we're going to die is dead. So it was easy to bury it and everything. So basically, like they just dispersed the crew of the Normandy that did experience the whole Reaper situation with Sovereign and everything, and yeah, it pissed off Joker to the point where he resigned his commission from the Alliance.
Yeah, that sounds better. So
I'm a Trekkie, bro.
No, it's all good. No, that's good. That's why you're here, because we can kind of compliment each other on this. But yeah, so you see the Normandy SR2, they completely recreated the Normandy to look almost exactly like the old one, except with obviously some obvious upgrades that private funding can get you. And you go on the ship, you end up meeting obviously. Not only is Joker there at the helm, you meet the other crew. You meet Kelly Chambers, who is your kind of personal assistant.
Your yeoman.
Yep, yeoman Chambers.
That upset me so much because
you're
Also being a Trekkie, and a former like like Navy, like I was in the Navy.
Yeah.
That upset me because in the old school Star Trek, the yeoman was basically like the secretary,
Hmm.
you know, but it was also like the eye candy, and I was like, what are they doing here?
Yeah.
What are they? I'm like, you could have given her a real job,
Hmm.
All she's literally doing is checking your email.
Yeah. And monitoring the crew, technically.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
um, there is a lot to her story that we find out in 3. That's
Oh,
kind of
true.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
obviously,
but
we don't know that at this point.
yeah, but the other cool thing is like not only is Joker there, but Dr. Chakwas is there, and I
Hell yeah.
love that lady.
Oh
I
yeah.
love that lady.
I love her so I love her so much too. Honestly, she's like probably one of the most underrated and underutilized characters in that whole game.
I love how like when we get to the third game, like you kind of weasel it out of her that she had a crush on you this
Hmm.
entire time. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. Or even
Yeah,
just like
but
you see her in the hospital and she's like, yeah, I'm like, kind of helping the refugees here and stuff like that. And, it's good work.
mhm.
It's good work. I really like what I'm doing. And then Shepard's like, you want to join my ship? And she's like, yep, I'll
She's
pack my
like,
bags.
fuck yes.
Fuck yes. Get me out of here.
Yeah, I love Doctor Shock was like
Oh, yeah.
it's a good character. It's a good character,
Hmm.
and yeah, like as we talk a little bit more about this, I'm going to tell you some things I discovered about the game. But yeah, and the other addition to the crew is an AI that actually is the ship. But it's called Edie, which shit. What did it stand for?
Oh, man, I forget.
I feel like I should know this. Crap.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
But what was your
Hmm?
what was your thing you were gonna say?
Yeah. So. Okay. Mass Effect Two. Mass Effect Two. Out of all three games, Mass Effect Two is the most violent game. Like this is one of those games where it's literally like hold on to your seats because you're in for a thrill ride.
Yeah.
Like all the violent stuff we saw in Mass Effect One was for shock value, but Mass Effect Two was like, no, this is all plot devices here. You want to punch somebody in the face, fine. You want to burn a hole through their head, do it.
Hmm.
You want to chuck somebody out of like a 100-foot skyscraper, it's yours. Stuff like that. Oh, you want to melt somebody down in a vat of hot lava because that is a thing in this game.
That is, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They had fun. I feel like BioWare had the most fun with this game.
Yeah. You want to punch a reporter in the face
Again,
again?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So your crew's assembled. First thing you gotta do is head over to the Citadel because like Shepard's just got a couple loose ends he wants to type and he needs to catch up on some things. And if and this is the part in your original playthrough, if you paid for DLC, like you get to recruit your first character right off the bat because as you step out onto the Citadel, you get bombarded by a bunch of advertisements and stuff like
Hmm.
that. It's almost like you're watching Minority Report because like it's all catered towards you, and it eventually gets to the point where the ads are calling you out by name, and and then it's like and then I can't remember the line for sure, but I think it said I think there was something when Shepard was asking questions about who was in charge, and one of the ads says, "I'm not sure who's in charge, but there's somebody of Asian descent who would love to make your
Yeah.
acquaintance." And then finally, if you pick up all the clues and stuff, your first expansion character you pick up because she's not a main character. She's not actually part of the main story if you don't want her to be.
Hmm.
Is Kasumi Goto, which that's one of my favorite. She's one of my favorite characters in Mass Effect. In Mass Effect 2, she's not my favorite character in Mass Effect 2 of the new characters, but she's one of my favorites.
No,
Um,
honestly, she is probably one of the more powerful characters in the
yeah,
game. Her little
yeah,
"now you see me" trick, when she kind of like ghosts and then sneaks up behind the person. A lot of
yeah.
times that's like an insta kill.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
Like she comes in, she just smacks them in the back of the neck, and then it's like amazing. Like when you're trying to get around a cover, and like you're trying to like get at this person, and all of a sudden you hear her say, "Now you see me," and it's like, oh shit, she about to do something, and all of a sudden, pop, dead. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
so
Kasumi's a great character. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like her.
No, I honestly, in a lot of the harder missions, I took her with me.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because she was her main thing was tech, but she did have some biotic abilities and stuff like that. But her
Yeah.
main thing was tech. So she was basically Tally before Tally shows up in the game.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. Oh. But wait, we missed something because I skipped ahead. My bad. Because
No, yeah, because I forgot because
Citadel.
you go to this human colony that was taken by that was taken by collectors, and through your investigations you find that there is actually a Quarian on this colony that's still alive, that's kind of neurotic in a way, who collected all this data on the collectors, this video, these audio files, everything, all this stuff about even just the swarm that came in that incapacitated all the humans that don't work on him. Apparently the swarm only works on humans. So, this is actually where you meet Tally and her little strike team that's actually trying to go in to recover this guy. And Vitor. That's his name. Yeah, Vitor. So, you kind of get to a point where it's like you could play nice guy and say, no, Vitor comes with us. We need all the information he can. Or you send Vitor to the Quarians, play nice guy, but then they send the data over, which is what ultimately you want anyway. So it's a matter of like, are you going to be the nice guy here, or are you going to be a dick? So
yeah.
Don't be a dick to Tally. Don't be a dick.
And then after that, you have your first meetup with the Illusive Man, which for all he might as well just been called Twirly Mustache Guy. If he had a mustache,
twirly mustache, yeah,
if he had he might as well be that guy. He's the quintessential well, not that hokey, but
but
he's
honestly he's voice acted by Martin Sheen, and that man is the Illusive Man.
Yeah, that's true.
I couldn't imagine anyone else playing that. If they brought like another voice actor in to do that, no. Yeah, I don't think it would have done it justice.
Yeah. So the Illusive Man gives you your dossier, which is cool in this game. Which is cool for this game because like you actually had like a goal to actually recruit characters. Mm-hmm. The characters kind of came to you in the last game, but you actually have to go seek them out this time around.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
And a lot of times you got to do missions associated with going to get them.
Yep. So you got your dossier. You're going to pick up a scientist on Omega. You're going to pick up while you're on Omega as well. You also need to like hunt down an assassin called Archangel. Mm-hmm. You're also as a bonus, if you bought the DLC, you also get to recruit another assassin named Zahid Masani. And then after that, there's a Krogan overlord. That's a warlord. I'm sorry that you have to recruit. Yep. And am I missing some? And a Asari Justicar, which for all intents and purposes, like
the Justicar didn't come till later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because because
there was like there was like the second half because there was like I mean there's a significant story beat, and then all of a sudden there's like okay I got you a couple more dossiers. So
yeah. Okay, so I'm skipping ahead. My bad.
But no, these three, Morden, the scientist is Morden Solus, the Archangel, the assassin, or not the assassin, but he's kind of like a mercenary, Garrus.
Yeah, mercenary. My bad. Yeah.
You end up finding out, and Zahid is obviously just another kind of like mercenary, hired gun or something. But Robin Sachs did the voice of Zahid.
Really?
Yeah.
I was wondering why the voice sounded familiar. I never looked up who the actor was.
Yeah,
but
he ended up actually, unfortunately, passing away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in 2013, which was actually, God, I don't know why I thought it was like so much sooner. I thought it was more recently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah, he died at the age of 61. I forget what it was, but he had a very distinct raspy voice. Like I just love that about him. So
well shit, I wasn't aware of that. That probably explains why. Wait, did we see him in the Citadel
yes.
DLC?
Yep, he was there.
Okay.
Yep. Because you remember in the Citadel DLC they got all drunk and started like playing like shoot 'em up in the living room.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, first part of the game, like you get a dossier of people to recruit. So if you include Miranda and Jacob at this point, you wind up with a team of up to six because you get Kasumi if you have the DLC.
Mhm.
You wind up with Archangel, who's Garrus Vakarian, but we need to spend a moment to talk about that.
Oh, I'll talk about Garrus Vakarian all night if you want me to.
Yeah, Morden Solus, who is a brilliant Solarian scientist, but he is if he was a human being, he'd be somebody that has like Asperger's syndrome.
Yeah.
Because he has no filter and
Mhm.
he will do whatever the hell he wants.
Yep.
And
say whatever he wants. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, he'll do and say whatever he wants, and guess what? It's all for morality anyway. So yeah,
Yep.
yep. And then Zaid. Yep.
Yeah. Zahid was obviously as we land on Omega, it's like you almost have no choice to meet him because once you get off your ship, you see this dude in the corner beating up on a Batarian, and he's like, "You're Shepard, right? I guess I'm part of your crew now, so long as the funds have been transferred." It's like, all right, my ship's back there.
Yeah.
That was the mission.
Yep.
But yeah, so Morden Solus's mission is you have to actually go to Omega, and there is this particular part of the neighborhood on Omega, which is like a den of like, kind of slavers, traders, and just all the other undesirables, so to speak.
It's like the worst. It's like the worst type of hood you could be in.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, where it's like, you could be bad, but you're still gonna get your ass shot. So you go to this kind of neighborhood that's under quarantine because there's this disease that it's affecting everybody, all the alien races except humans. So humans are kind of walking around like it's no big deal, but everybody else is kind of infected. So Morden Solus is there trying to kind of solve the problem of the cure, which I think was manufactured by the collectors, which we end up finding out.
The collectors. I can't remember if the collectors were actually working with the Batarians.
They were working with the, what are those weird dudes?
Oh, the Vorcha.
Vorcha. Yeah, they were working with the Vorcha. This like Vorcha mercenary group that basically ended up just kind of releasing the virus all throughout the area, and so.
So that's going on, and that's where you learn that basically Morden's pretty ruthless. When he's trying to get the job done, he's ruthless.
Yeah, I mean that's number one for him. So
yeah,
he knows obviously the task, the mission that he has been recruited for is very important, and he's definitely on board. But obviously he had to tie up some loose ends, so you had to kind of synthesize the cure that he was doing and distribute it throughout the air handling system, which ends up kind of doing the job. And then he leaves his assistant to take care of the work while he kind of hops onto Shepard's ship and goes adventuring.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. So, I mean, that's obviously the short end of the story, but talk about Garrus.
All right. So next up in the dossier is this mercenary called Archangel, and it's also on Omega. and we also meet Arya Talok, who is basically the mayor of Omega, which is basically a satellite facility way out in on the edge of space and stuff like that. Now this is a badass Asari. I'll just put it that way.
She's voiced by Carrie-Anne Moss, and I love the shit out of Carrie-Anne Moss.
I know. Like God. So when you start asking Arya about Archangel, she basically says Archangel is a thorn in my side, but he's actually keeping the riffraff in line. So he's doing me a favor, so I'm leaving him alone. But he's tearing up my space station, so it's time for him to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So you get down there, and this is where we find out that Mass Effect 2 has a sense of humor, because right when you're getting ready to go, like after to start looking for Archangel, like as you're leaving Arya's bar, like this dude walks in, this kid basically, and he's like, yeah, I heard there's a hit squad ready to go after. There's a hit squad that's been hired by the Blue Suns, which is one of the warring factions on Omega. Mm-hmm. Like they're going to take down Archangel, and he's bragging about how he spent his 50 credits for this gun.
Oh, this handgun, yeah.
and Shepard's like, let me see that. Like he immediately pops the clip, and he's like, this gun would have got you killed. Like,
Yeah, because he like taps it and just like sparks fly out of it.
yeah,
And he's like, get your money back.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So Shepard and team goes down to where everybody's grouping up. Like, it's the Blue Suns and it's one other faction. It's the faction that's run by the Krogan. So
they were red, right? The blood, the blood pack.
The blood pack. There we go.
Pack,
yeah. So Blue Suns and red and the blood pack. Yeah. But when Shepard and team get down there, like Shepard's like, something's kind of familiar about this guy's style,
Mm-hmm.
because the one of the teams is like licking their wounds and stuff, and talk about how Archangel took this person out. He can't believe it and all this stuff, and Shepard's just surveying. He's like, something's familiar about all this. And so Shepard and team infiltrate, like they're part of the hired guns to go in after Archangel. That's their cover. And the way it all pops off is like Shepard gets information from a Batarian soldier about where they've got Archangel like pinned down at, and then he like stabs him in the back with a screwdriver.
Well, yeah, it was like a plasma wrench or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And then you can get the option to actually sabotage the ship that he's working on too, as well.
Which I recommend you do.
Yes,
if you're
definitely.
going the Paragon route. If you're going the Paragon route. If you're going the Renegade route, like just leave it as is. Like, it's more chaos.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, totally recommend that, because you end up fighting that helicopter later, and it would be nice to start that fight with like half of its health there. So
yeah, it's true. Yeah. So basically, like Shepard and crew do their thing. They get down to where they actually get to where Archangel's pinned down at, and lo and behold, it's Garrus.
Yep.
And Garrus with his trusty sniper rifle is just popping blood pack and Blue Suns people off one by one and stuff. And man, like it's funny. It's like, why were they messing with him when he had the high ground? This is
the only way to that building was this one bridge,
which is a bottleneck.
It's a bottleneck. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
It's like Sniper 101. If the sniper has the high ground and you still have not ascertained his location, why are you going after him?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, Stoy, take it away.
No, yeah. So you end up obviously recruiting him as well. Once you kind of help him get out of there, he gets blasted in the face with a freaking rocket. So you end up patching him up on the Citadel, and you could rip on him to say like, where Garrus is like, wow, it kind of messed up my good looks, and Shepard's like, you never looked good anyway. So yeah. So afterwards, you can kind of leave Omega. I mean, there's other like little side quests you can do on this on here. But you head over to Corliss, which is like this derelict shipwreck planet where it's like a bunch of like derelict ships and destroyed ships and just people salvage it or whatever. And you go to recruit the warlord Okir, who is actually a doctor, Krogan, who is actually trying to is doing research on the genophage, but also trying to create tank-bred Krogans. So basically, cloning Krogans to not have the genophage.
I think he had parts of Saren's experimental data from Vermeer.
Yeah, because who do you find? There was an Asari when you're storming Saren's laboratory. There's an Asari there that you tell her to beat it because we're about to destroy this lab, and she's like, I don't want to be here any longer than necessary. I'm out of here. So all of a sudden you go to this lab on Corliss, and she's there. And you're like, what the hell? I thought I told you to get away from all this danger. And she's like,
are you trying to die?
Yeah. She's like, yeah, I'm stupid. I'm an idiot. I promise to stay away from everything now. So
yeah. So that mission was actually pretty fun, honestly. Like but ultimately it comes down to like Okir has a bit of pride. Like he wants the experiments to go on, to keep going, but at the same time somebody's been sabotaging like the experiments and stuff. So a lot of his tank bred Krogans are not being viable, but he's got one that's basically like a secret weapon.
Yeah, that's perfect in every way.
Yeah, he's perfect. He's perfect. Like there is no sign of the genophage at all in this Krogan. And he was actually being held in the vat, to actually collect specimens and samples for, to also help like cure the genophage. But Okir's like, I guess, benefactor, the person that's backing all this stuff is like, no, like you're a rabid dog. We're taking you down and we're killing all your research and stuff like
Because
that.
I think
So
that's where he gained his research, because this mercenary group was actually paying him to make Krogan to turn them into, this woman's own personal army.
yeah,
And then once she kind of started to find out that obviously he was screwing her over and the Krogan were not viable, that's when she got pissed and decided to go after him.
exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
unfortunately, he doesn't make it in the end. He dies, but he saves the tank bred Krogan after you go kind of finish off the mercenary leader and all her soldiers. And it's like you got this tank with this Krogan in it, and you're like, well, I guess take it to the ship, and then I guess we'll figure out what we do with it. And you got some people that are like, do we want to release a kind of live Krogan on our ship that doesn't know what the hell's going on?
Yeah, Jacob and Edie are like,
Yeah, exactly. And Miranda's like, Krogan are pretty damn powerful.
Yeah.
You know? So you actually have a choice. You could literally leave the tank there and just not open it, to where Grunt's not even a part of your squad anymore. Or you open it up and then you find out, obviously, it's overblown. No big deal. Yeah, granted, he pins you up against the wall and he's like, what the fuck's going on? And, you gain a little bit of respect from him because obviously he's like, I got the upper hand on you. And he's like, look down. And you see like, him holding a pistol to his stomach. And he's like, son of a bitch.
Yep. Yeah, that was a good exchange.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, definitely Grunt is definitely someone you want to wake up. He's a really cool dude.
All right.
Especially since he's kind of like a baby. Like he's trying to learn what it's like to be a Krogan, and kind of he's implanted with all these memories that, Okir put in his brain. Like all his memories, all his passions, his emotions was all kind of implanted. So
yeah, but then we think about the fact that Shepard is basically daddy, because Shepard's the first thing he saw, so basically he imprinted on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Shepard's the dad or the mom, depending on what you go.
Yeah. All right. So you have one more recruit to get before the next jump off happens in the game, because the game is plot driven. Like that's the cool thing about the game, is plot driven. And it does a better job of actually maintaining its plot than Mass Effect 1 did. Because Mass Effect 1 had a plot, but it was kind of all over the place, for the most part. So you go to recruit your final character, or who you think is your final character at the moment. And you wind up heading to
Purgatory,
a Purgatory prison ship.
Yeah, and it's run by the Blue Suns mercenary group.
And you're going there to actually pick up a prisoner that they're supposed to be turning over to you. But lo and behold, the Blue Suns are not only screwing you over, but they're also screwing over Cerberus. Because they're like, hey, Commander Shepard just walked onto our ship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a much bigger prize than whatever Cerberus is trying to give us. So yeah. So basically now you have to fight for your life, as well as like now you have to rescue the person you came to recruit and stuff like that. And come to find out, the person that you are recruiting / rescuing is like one of the most powerful biotics like anyone has ever seen before.
Oh yeah.
A shit talking, bald headed, like basically she reminds me of Ripley from Alien 3.
Imagine Ripley, but like bald and half naked,
covered in tattoos.
Covered in tattoos. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is.
So everybody meet Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to say, she was voiced by Courtney Taylor, and I met her at a convention before.
I
actually interviewed her and one of her friends, because she runs a Nerds Vote kind of nonprofit organization where she kind of raises like voting awareness for like political
awesome.
Political voting things, whatever. Anyway,
mm-hmm.
But she's a really cool chick, and she talked about how she had a blast. She had a blast, like kind of like recording lines for her, because she was like, I could really say and do whatever the hell I wanted to, because they were like,
some of the stuff was unscripted.
Yeah, she was just like went off, and she's just,
shit.
And they were like, let's go, let's do it, let's at it. So
I didn't know that.
Especially some of the battle moments where she's like, "I will destroy you." Like she had a lot of fun recording some of those lines.
Oh man,
So,
that's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome.
But
All right, so now the next plot point happens in the game where the Illusive Man has received advance notice that the collectors are getting ready to storm a human colony called Horizon. Once you get there, you wind up running into whomever was a survivor from the Vermeer mission. So like you either have a chance to speak with Ashley again or Caden. But they're not fans of yours right now because news has gotten out that not only you are back, but you're no longer the Alliance. You're part of Cerberus, and Cerberus is the enemy of civilized human civilization.
no, this is where I have a problem. Because these are one of those moments where I was like, I wish there were so many damn renegade options in this conversation with the character at the end of this.
You'd have pimp smacked Ashley?
Yeah, I would have pimp smacked Ashley. I would have pimp smacked Caden. He's like, but you're with Cerberus right now. Like I had a choice. I was dead. I was dead. And they're the ones that revived me. And they're the ones that are actually kind of giving a shit. And they're also the ones that are kind of funding these operations. And by the way, you would have been dead had I not showed up. And you're pissed at me. You're pissed at me. I was like, every time I get to that part where I'm just like, I want to skip the whole damn conversation.
You know, it's funny because so my first in my playthrough of Mass Effect, I sacrificed Ashley.
Yeah.
So
as most people did.
Yeah. So, but I actually went. So yeah, after getting dressed down by Caden, like I actually went back and I looked to see how the interaction with Ashley went, and man, like I will say this, man, like Caden had feelings.
Yeah. Caden, when he was disappointed in you, man, that hurt you emotionally.
Yeah.
You would be heartbroken. Like,
where Ashley spits her lines and is like, yeah, fuck you too, bitch.
Yeah, whatever, bitch. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
That is funny because I played from both sides, and like when Caden's like, you broke my heart. And I'm like,
yeah, Caden had more weight to it,
Yeah.
It's almost like they wanted him to be your space boyfriend.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I don't know. He just carries too much emotional baggage, with the whole I had a rough childhood. I was beaten and I was tortured to be the best biotic I could be. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to bore you with these. And you're just like, nah, that's okay. But I'm going to keep talking about it. Like, So, you end up obviously, driving back to Collectors. And this is where you meet Harbinger for the first time. Harbinger is one single collector that is actually assuming control of any particular collector on the battlefield.
I like how you said.
Yeah.
I like how you said a collector. I like that.
Yeah.
Because I know what's happening here.
Yeah. Assuming control of this form.
Yes.
Whenever you're in the middle of a battle and all of a sudden you hear assuming direct control.
That was freaking me out the first time I played it too, because I was like, "What is going on here?"
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know if we were being hacked or if the game was just throwing a red herring at us or whatnot. But I was like, "What is going on here? And why is something calling me by name?" Like, but then again, I should have been like, "Well, yeah, they tried to kill me like 2 years ago, so yeah, they know who I am."
Mm-hmm. Assuming direct control of this form, or like this hurts you, where he kind of taunt you the entire time. And yeah, obviously the person that he assumes control of, they develop a barrier, and then in a lot of cases they develop armor. So generally this is where you pull out your heavy weapon and just start railing in on them. But
yeah, and it's at this point that you find out that the collectors are actually repurposed Protheans.
You don't discover that until later.
Was it later?
Yeah, that was later. That was when you actually find the collector ship. This is where you discover the swarm actually incapacitates people. This is where you actually can capture a couple of them, and then this is where Morden can kind of do his studies.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead. It's been a while.
No, it's fine.
While. Yeah.
So all right, now you get more dossiers. You got to pick up the Justicar Samara. The Asari Justicar.
Basically the Asari former Judge Dredd.
Yeah. I like that. That's initially what I thought. So she's like Judge Dredd, but
Yep.
and then you got the assassin Thane Krios. They're both on Ilium, which is the Asari homeworld. You also run into Liara here, who you find out Liara is kind of a badass now at this point.
Yeah, because guess what? This is another portion of the game that can be set off by DLC if you purchase it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Liara is doing investigations into who or what the Shadow Broker is, because the Shadow Broker was like a big plot point in Mass Effect 1. You know, like you learned a lot about the Shadow Broker, even though because like the Shadow Broker was pulling strings about behind what was going on the Citadel with the whole Saren situation, and of course Saren like double crossed the Shadow Broker, and that's how we wound up meeting Rex way back when. All right, so Liara is doing research into the Shadow Broker, and the Shadow Broker is like, I'm tired of your shit, so he sends somebody out to take Liara out.
Yeah. I just like the phone conversation where like that was a side quest where she's like, I'm trying to find out who's screwing me over. It's someone close to me, so you do research on certain terminals and you track back to her secretary's doing it.
Yeah.
So like there's a phone conversation where you're like, hey, I'm just submitting who your mole is. And then Liara's like, wait a minute. Hey, can you come in here, please?
Yeah, like, so what happened to that naive little girl that we met on...
She's gone, man.
that we met on Pharos.
Now she's she's hard, man.
Oh,
cold, calculating. Yeah, she was actually the one that found your body.
Yeah.
You end up finding this out because you end up she ends up kind of working out a deal with Cerberus to where, like, you know, they're trying to find the body. So, you know, Liara sends her agents out to locate your remains, so to speak.
Yeah, it's like, girl, you changed though these 2 years, man.
Yeah.
Your mom's death like made you hard.
I know, no kidding. That was the last 2.5 years. Whew. So, but we'll obviously come to blows with the Shadow Broker at some later point. But because, you know, she's still trying to collect information on where he is or who he is and stuff. But in the meantime, you're trying to go after Samara, the Justicar, who's actually trying to hunt an Ardak Yakshi. And this is where we learn the Ardak Yakshi are batshit crazy Asari that turn into monsters and kill their prey, so to speak. And she's trying to hunt an Ardak Yakshi who is actually her daughter.
Yeah.
And you're following a blood trail. You end up finding out she's on Omega. But that's a loyalty mission later on. But you end up actually kind of getting Samara on your team. And then also there's another mission where you have to go chase down Thane Krios, who's actually trying to chase down a kill.
Yeah, he had one of the coolest intros in... If you guys thought the Archangel reveal was freaking fantastic, like Thane Krios' intro into the game is amazing. And by the way, can we talk about the fact that you see Nisana, I think her name was Nisana Dauntless again, who was this was the Asari and the Asari diplomat in the first game where she sent you on a mission. You know, once you became a Spectre, she's on a mission to look into some dealings because she thought her sister was dead, and her sister wasn't her. I think her sister was working for Cerberus.
Yeah, her sister was working for Cerberus. Yeah,
her sister was working for, which is crazy, and Asari working for Cerberus.
Well, and she was actually kind of double crossing Cerberus. So
because
Nasana actually knew her sister was crooked, so she wanted her dead.
She wanted her dead. Yeah. So you were sent there, and of course, like, she wound up dead because like she didn't want to come back. You know. Yeah. So yeah, and then so you wind up on, when you're going to recruit Thane on Ilium. Guess what? Now Nisana is a freaking gangster.
Yeah. And she's definitely a target.
But I think Nisana's. I think the reason why Nisana went to a life of crime is because of the fallout from Sovereign's attack on the Citadel. Like, you know, like the diplomatic corps like lost their credibility after that. So like it basically drove her out of a well respected job, and she had no choice but to turn to crime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously that drew the ire of some certain people that hired Thane, who, sneaking up in the scaffolding and, in the room where like Shepard and Nasana are talking and everyone's like freaking out. Like, I hear something. What's going on?
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden Thane just drops down and just,
It's funny. It's funny because like Thane used Shepard and his team because he knew Shepard and his team were tracking him. We're tracking him not to stop him, but tracking him just to recruit him. So he used Shepard's team, to actually get to Nasana.
yeah, pretty much.
It was crazy. Yeah. So like the guy just drops down out of a freaking air vent and just starts murking like everybody in the room that's affiliated with Nasana. and then just gut shots her.
Yep. But he lays her down so nice. Which is which is the interesting part of Thane's character because
smooth.
Thane is a Drell, and Drell are they're kind of like frog, amphibious, like humanoid, species. But when he kills, obviously he's like an assassin with a conscience. He's an assassin with a code, so to speak. So he gives proper respect to the people that die, even though they deserve it. He's like, obviously everybody needs their last rites, so. When he kills Nasana, he like lays her down gently, folds her arms, and he like says a prayer. And Shepard's like, "Oh, okay,
yeah,
you just killed
like,
you just killed all these people in cold blood, killed her in cold blood, and now you're
praying for her.
Now you're praying for her, But he's a man of honor, so
yeah,
that's why honestly, out of everybody, he's my favorite character in this.
He's in my top 5. Top 5.
I know.
Sure.
I know. Usually, I always man crush about Garrus, and a lot of times,
how can you not though?
I know, but like Thane is like so cool, so calculating.
I gotta say, as far as characters that are ride or die in Mass Effect, like for sure, Garrus and Miranda are the ride or dies.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
a lot of people, like I said, Miranda comes off as like really kind of like arrogant and whatever, a little bit.
She actually has a heart.
Yeah, but she does. And honestly, if there's something that you want to get done, she's the one to do it, and she'll do it.
She's got your back.
Yeah,
she's got your back.
Yeah. So after you leave Ilium, then you can go get Tali. Finally. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Because we go to the land of the angry sun. Like this is Super Mario 3 all over again.
Yeah, we're like, basically, it's like the sun's getting hotter and no one knows why and stuff. And I think there was like some story about they discovered that there was like dark matter energy affecting the sun, which is uncharacteristic of that whole universe. Because I think they actually explained it in 3.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they did, and I can't remember for sure. Which is why I need to hurry up and play Mass Effect 3 again.
Right. But this is where actually like you go out in the sun and it actually burns you.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, like your shields get ripped to shreds like in seconds. But this is also the first encounter we have with the Geth for this game.
Yep.
Yeah. So of course, where there's Geth, there are Quarians.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Always. Such a complicated relationship they live, and we'll obviously get to talking about kind of more the strife between the Geth and the Quarian, and you can kind of almost understand why. Mm-hmm. Especially when you get to Tali's mission, her loyalty mission later on.
Yeah, which the loyalty missions are back, by the way.
Yeah. So you end up rescuing Tali from this because she's like, I'm just here to do a job and help me do the job here, and then we can get out of here and I can join your team. So
yep.
And this is Cal Rhaegar. Cal Rhaegar, he's an awesome dude. He's one of the Quarians that he's like, you're in this big firefight and he's like, I could do it, I could fight, but like the Quarian have these specialized suits that really kind of protect them from the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. And anytime like, if there's a break in the suits, they all of a sudden get extremely sick and injured. Like they're almost they could die from just like a little like puncture in their armor.
It's like they have COVID all of a sudden.
Yeah, all of a sudden like immediate COVID right there. So I guess I never thought of it that way, but it makes sense.
I mean for real. I mean like their immune systems have become so compromised because they are no longer a planet-faring civilization and stuff like that. So just imagine like you live in something that's always clean and sterile. So the moment you put yourself into a new environment and stuff like that, everything can kill you.
Well, and I think that was because their planet, their species is so specifically oriented to that planet, like
To their planet, yeah.
that they came from. Um,
Yeah.
and if they were to go anywhere else, they would obviously need to wear those protective suits. And yeah, we don't know what they really look like. I mean, we don't. Like, we never see them without their masks ever.
You know what? You know what? You are absolutely right, because I just thought about something in Mass Effect 3, which we'll talk about when we get to that episode of Standard Definition.
Yeah, especially because I think there was something that was taken out of the game and replaced with something else because of fan feedback.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the thing of what we're talking about, which the fans can go suck it.
I know. Fans always
got to ruin shit. Anyway.
All right. So
next big plot.
So wait. Okay, the collector ship, right?
Yeah, that's where the Illusive Man discovers, quote unquote, a collector ship.
Yeah. Okay, so the details for me are too foggy. So like, if you know more about it than I do, go for it.
Sure,
I know that we find out about the Omega 4 relay.
Yeah, obviously that's where, the Omega 4 relay is a very well-known relay that is believed to go to dark space, but no one has been able to go through the Omega 4 relay and out without getting completely destroyed. And that's where, the Illusive Man discovered that that's where they're coming in and out of. And that's why we can't find them or track them. So there's got to be a way to get through the Omega 4 relay to kind of chase them down, so to speak. So what they discover is that there's a derelict collector ship out in space that a Turian space battalion kind of incapacitated, so to speak. So Illusive Man said, hey, they're at this, there's no activity on this ship apparently, and they're doing repairs, so this is a great time for us to kind of dock and see what's going on in there. So this is where they discover, obviously, that they're taking the humans and processing them into soup, basically.
Yeah, for God knows what.
Yeah, which
we know what. But
yeah, we'll talk about that later. But also too, this is where you discover that this is where Edie discovers that the genetic makeup of the collectors is very similar, if not almost identical, to the Prothean civilization from 50,000 years before. Mm-hmm. So the collectors are repurposed Protheans, which led everybody to believe that at this time, that when the Reapers, initiated their whole extinction phase of the Protheans 50,000 years ago, they obviously harvested the Protheans and they repurposed them to be kind of these collectors, so to speak. So for the next phase of extinction, the Reapers used them as kind of foot soldiers.
Yeah. Yeah, which that actually helps establish some lore, because now you have to wonder what the Keepers are, what race they were. You know, they were obviously from another cycle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we know that this cycle has repeated itself over and over and over again, and obviously with each passing cycle, the Reapers have become exceedingly better at it, has learned more and more and more throughout the processes. Mm-hmm. But obviously this cycle is supposed to be different because now humans are part of the equation. Which by the way, Protheans knew about humans, but we were so low on the totem pole, during their cycle, that we were just an afterthought. Well, yeah, and I think when we meet a particular character in 3, they make allusions to even how young the Solarians were,
Yeah.
Which, oh man, I can't wait to talk about him.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait.
Oh yeah, but I'm jumping ahead though. My bad. I do this.
We keep doing that. We keep jumping to Mass Effect 3.
But man, yeah. Anyway,
moving on. So
yeah,
you find out on this ship, obviously, that the Omega 4 relay, in order to get through, you needed an IFF, which is a Reaper IFF, which is a identification friend foe system, to where when they pass through the Omega 4 relay, it identifies you as a friend and lets you through no problem.
Yeah.
And this is where obviously you have to. You all of a sudden you find out, oh shit, they just discovered our presence. Everything in the ship turned on because Edie's trying to decipher all the data that they found on the site and whatever. And shit, Edie's like, oh shit, the ship's turning on. Everybody's aware of your presence right now. And Shepard's like, how the hell did this happen? So, of course, naturally, when you escape the collector ship with all the data that you got, the Illusive Man's like, yeah, that's my bad. That was all a ruse. They really weren't incapacitated. That was a trap. And you're like, Shepard's like, what? you almost sent me to die? And he's like, yeah, but it was totally worth it, right?
Yeah.
And Shepard's like, the fuck?
And you know what? This is finally the point. This is finally the point in the history where Miranda finally has trust issues with the Illusive Man.
Yeah, because obviously she was affected too, because she's like,
yeah,
I could have died. Like,
yeah, and I was like, I thought that was your right hand.
Yeah. And
yeah.
she was by all intents and purposes, but even she didn't know. Because
Yeah,
obviously
yeah,
you go after Miranda, like, did you know this? And she's like, no, I didn't. Like, I really didn't. So, obviously, there's other side quests you can do. There's other side missions you can do, and this is where obviously, this is where you can also start to do some loyalty missions, and you can actually do another. You actually find another mission where the Illusive Man says, oh, yeah, by the way, we're actually investigating and researching a derelict Reaper.
Of course.
And it's more of the fucking secrets.
Why? At this point, we're like, why wouldn't you be?
Of course. Why wouldn't you tell me everything? And he's like, what's on I need to know? And it's like, ugh. Anyway, I'm out here trying to save the galaxy, and you're here keeping secrets.
Now, here's the first thing I want to say about this game. This game for me, like basically pulled me out of my element, because it's like, at this point, it's like we're going onto a derelict Reaper, and like Reapers are actually living starships and stuff like that. But the fact that we're going inside one, like I was all apprehensive and stuff like that, because I was like, this bastard ain't really dead. It can't be.
Yeah,
it can't be really dead.
Yeah, and you find out obviously it really wasn't, because once you start seeing video and audio logs, everybody's all indoctrinated on this damn ship.
Yeah.
And honestly, that is probably one of the darkest, most haunting levels, or maybe areas in the whole series.
Yes.
Because this is where you literally go inside a Reaper. Like, that's crazy to think about. And obviously, the majority of the time you're fighting husks, which is like hollowed out insides of humans and other kind of like
other species.
Yeah, other species, those kind of crazy biotic monsters that throw biotic elements at you. It's just crazy. But this is where you actually discover Legion.
Another cool ass intro.
Yeah. Because he's popping shots, and you're wondering where all those shots are coming from, and then all of a sudden you find out it's a Geth who's wearing your armor.
Yeah, you're wearing your armor.
Yeah. And you're like, you have an N7 plate on your chest. What the fuck is up with that?
I love it though, because as soon as he sees, he's like Shepard Commander.
Yeah,
it's the coolest thing. Like,
honestly, I love Legion, man. He's so
cool. I'm gonna save my top 5 characters for when we do the wrap up on Mass Effect 3. I'm gonna save it, but yeah, just know that he's in there.
Okay, that's good to know, because Legion's my boy, and he doesn't get that name by himself, because like you end up finding out afterwards. It's like, all right, so what do we call you? And he's like, we don't have a name. And he keeps saying we. And this is where you kind of discover that the Geth are not single entities. They're all networked. They're all networked together. Kind of like a hive mind.
Kind of like Cylons.
Yeah. Or, and I think you even say it where it's like, so you're like a hive mind. He's like, well, not really, but I guess kind of. So Edie comes up with the, she kind of probes into Legion's mind, and she's like, this reminds me of the poem, I am Legion, for we are one. So he's like, all right, I guess call me Legion then.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So this is where you discover that obviously Cerberus is actually investigating a derelict Reaper, and they have actually discovered.
Oh! Can we back up for a second?
The IFF. Anyway.
Well, remember when we finally got Tally on board the ship?
Yeah.
And Tally's like talking all sorts of shit about the fact that she still can't believe that we're working for Cerberus and all this stuff. And Jacob throws that shot at her, and I was like, "Why don't you go get yourself acquainted with Edie, our ship's artificial intelligence?"
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love that. Jacob's trying to be like, "Hey, welcome to the ship. How you doing?" Tally's like, fuck you. And he's like, great. Go.
Go talk to our AI that we actually got right.
Yeah, I know. Oh man, that was so good because initially I was like, why is Jacob trying to be all overly nice when she's being a bitch to him? But I was like, oh, I get it. I get what he's doing.
Okay, back to the IFF.
Oh man, there was so many good there's so many good little moments.
I'm telling you, BioWare, like I feel like they had their most fun making Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
And they tried to like recapture that whole spirit in the Citadel DLC.
Yeah. Oh man, I just love that because like Tally's pacing up and down. She's all like, I'm trying to act all hard and stuff, and Jacob's like, hi, how are you? Don't forget to get yourself acquainted with everybody around you, and you should meet the team. The team's great. I don't know, man. I know a lot of people like make fun of Jacob. I love Jacob.
Oh yeah, Jacob was one of a kind.
Yeah, he really was because he's definitely. I mean, he's very much a soldier, and he's a by the book. Let's get this done, and let's get on with it, so to speak.
Yep. Yeah. So after you recruit Legion.
Yep, and then you get the Reaper IFF.
And you get the Reaper IFF. Of course, a member of your crew has a problem with the fact that you just brought a Geth on board and shit. Do I need to name names?
No, you don't need to name names.
All right.
I just like that because obviously he's being stored in the lower parts of the ship. And it's like, when you're on the ship, you go visit your crew, you talk to your crew and stuff like that and see how everyone's doing. And you walk into the scene and there's Tally holding a gun right to his chest. And you're like, whoa, what the fuck's going on here?
Man, Tally had so many breakaway moments in this game. I gotta say that, like especially when we get to her personal mission.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, yeah, she had so many breakaway moments in this game. Like it was like they made sure to like give her the maturity that they missed giving her in the first game.
Well, in the first game, she was like, young, and she was like, she's starry-eyed, and she's like, everything is so great, everything's so amazing. I'm just glad to be a part of this, And then all of a sudden, in 2, she's like got a little edge to her, and she's a little bit hardened, a little bit learned from the previous game.
Like she's leading task forces and shit now. It's like, damn.
Yeah, she's ruthless now, and obviously she's very opinionated.
Yeah. All right. So now that Shepard finds out that Cerberus has been researching a derelict Reaper out in space, much more things are coming to pass. We learned about the Reaper IFF, and now that's the way that we get into the damn it, what was the name of the relay again?
The Omega 4.
The Omega 4. I don't know why I was calling the Moon Relay. No, the Moon Relay is how you get to Earth. Yes. My bad.
Yep. That was for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So all right.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So and also we get our biggest hint yet about indoctrination, because indoctrination was something that was going on that the word was first introduced to us, when we found out that something was going on with Saren in the first game. Mm-hmm. But now we're actually learning the ins and outs of indoctrination, and they're still thinking it has something to do with the humanoid soup that the collectors are doing, but that's not it, because yeah, like you said earlier, like they're getting their first real taste of indoctrination being on board, being inside the Reaper ship, and even though Reaper's dead, like its influence is heavily felt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So of course,
it's almost like Bluetooth technology, to where it's like, especially when it comes to organics, so to speak, like they have to be close to, kind of Reaper tech or Reaper technology in order for the indoctrination to work. So
yeah, I really wish they could explain a little more in depth about indoctrination. As the series wound to a close and stuff, all we knew is that like the Reapers caused indoctrination, and that's how basically it culls like the species that is going to, well, not culls, it basically pacifies the species that is going to like basically cull.
Mm-hmm. Which I mean, I honestly think the Mass Effect 3 episode that we do is probably going to be long as hell. Just because there's so much story content, especially with the Leviathan DLC, which is probably, it pissed me off that was a DLC, because that should have been incorporated.
That should have been core game.
That should have been core gameplay. Yeah. Yeah. Because the story for that and the lead up to it is probably some of the most important elements of that story. Mm-hmm. That should not have been relegated to be DLC, to where like you have to pay extra for it. Anyway.
For real.
We keep doing that. We keep going
Oh
to
no.
Mass Effect 3, but we're almost there.
All right. So now that you have the IFF on board the ship, like you gotta test it out to make sure like everything's gonna go right and everything. So the Normandy starts testing the IFF, and of course that brings attention to the ship. Once again, the collectors show up and abduct practically the entire crew.
Yep.
Because the core team is out on a mission. Joker's on the ship, and the collectors show up, and basically he's watching everybody get snatched from Chambers to Dr. Chakwas and stuff like that. And Edie's like, hey, if you want to live, listen to my instructions right now. And like gets old brittle bones dude to like crawl through crawl spaces and stuff. And basically Joker is able to save the ship, but at the tremendous cost that the crew is now gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's got one of the best lines where Edie's like, you have to crawl down this tunnel. He's like, are you sure about that? And she's like, I love to see humans on their knees.
Yes.
And Joker's like, what?
Yeah.
And she's like, that was a joke.
Yeah, and Edie's basically getting Joker to basically unshackle her, which basically is a fancy term of saying like make her fully aware.
Yeah, fully aware and fully capable of actually controlling every aspect of the ship.
Yeah, every aspect of the ship, fully self-aware, which also means that she basically can now violate the first law of robotics, which is you cannot kill.
Yeah.
You cannot kill, because first law of robotics, for the nerds out there, is you cannot kill even in self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is the antithesis of the book I, Robot.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, obviously Edie purges the ship of all the collectors and basically retains and saves the ship so that the collectors can't destroy it, and then actually kind of punches away from the ship itself, light speeds away. And all of a sudden, like, Shepard comes back to the ship. He's like, what the fuck just happened? Where is everybody? So now,
like, Joker, what the fuck did you do?
Yeah. He's like, listen. I wasn't going to throw my broken ass limbs at it. So, and this is where obviously you find out, obviously, like you said, against Cerberus protocol is that Edie now has full control of the ship, and she is unshackled, so she can almost like do and say, and she's kind of running her own self. So this is where kind of like the end game is, because depending on how fast you go after this, if you say, well, I got to do some more loyalty missions or I got to do some more side quests, at this point, if you do all those things and say like, well, I could go rescue my crew, but I got to do all these side quests first. Your crew is at risk. So this is where it's very important to do all of your side missions and all your loyalty missions before testing the Reaper IFF. Because then once you test the Reaper IFF, your crew gets captured, then you go right to the final mission.
Yeah.
So where you actually pass through the Omega 4 relay, and this is where all your choices leading up to this moment start to matter. Did you do your loyalty missions?
I did all my loyalty missions.
Yeah, of course.
No. I'm sorry.
Oh.
That was for the audience. I'm sorry.
No, I do. I don't have to ask you. I know you did.
Even the characters I hated, I did their loyalty missions.
Yeah, I know. No kidding. It's like, fine. Final Dude Zahid's loyalty mission. So all those times where it's like all of a sudden he's like his arrogance gets in the way and he gets that like large ass like pipe that crashes onto him and he's like, help me, and I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but whatever. Anyway,
they better be glad. They better be glad it wasn't an Ambassador Udina side mission.
If that was an Ambassador Udina, like, help me, like, nah.
Dead.
You got
dead
this.
motherfucker. Dead motherfucker.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about those side missions for a moment here.
Yeah. This is where we can kind of get into the loyalty missions. Yeah.
Yeah, the loyalty missions. Kasumi's loyalty mission was freaking incredible. Like you basically, I've always loved these episodes of TV shows when they happen. So I definitely loved this part of Mass Effect 2. It was a heist mission.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. It's one of those things where like Shepard got I played as male Shepard. He got this fancy ass like freaking like it wasn't a suit. It was like a ceremonial gown and everything. And like man, and it was funny because like Kasumi actually dressed him up, basically to look like the dude that she was in love with, that passed away.
Yeah.
But that loyalty mission, you're basically going in and you're retrieving I'm going to call it a cipher
It's
because
a gray
basically
box. That's what she
yeah,
calls it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, a gray box. It has his last message, but it also has some imprints of his personality in there. But it also has some information from the last job from the last heist that he pulled. That was like a major consequence. Like it was one of those things where like it's basically like giving free information across the internet. Like free information that's been blocked for so long and stuff like that. So it was a great thing. Like, the dude that they were doing the heist from was hardcore though because he was a collector of like valuable things. He even had the top half of the Statue of Liberty
Yeah, I know.
in his vault.
Yeah.
He had like the first prototype deep spaceship that Earth created and stuff like that. This dude was legit. He was a criminal, but he was legit.
I thought didn't he have like the gun that shot President Lincoln?
Yes,
too?
yes,
Yeah.
he did.
He had like some like really ancient stuff, like ancient Egyptian stuff. Even there was even I think there was even a kind of ode to Dragon Age, like one of the larger like monsters
you're right.
that popped up.
Yeah,
there was a statue there.
Yep. Yeah. Samara's was also another. Samara's was deep. Oh my god.
Yeah, it really was. And you could have ended her side mission, her loyalty mission, with her dead.
With her death. Yeah. Like basically for Samara's loyalty mission, you're basically like hunting down one of her children that like Asari. There are some Asari that ascend to such a high level of being a biotic that it actually corrupts their mind, and even though they're not like psychotic or anything, they actually prey on other people's emotions and their individuality and stuff like that, and that's how they feed off of their own power and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and so it's basically like a curse, for the entire Asari like civilization and stuff like that. If one they're born, they're usually supposed to either be tucked away somewhere, like in a monastery,
exiled,
exiled, or they have to be dealt with and killed right then and there, stuff like that. And even Samara admits that her biggest mistake was trying to help her child to the point where, she was trying to like make sure that she wouldn't be locked away in the monastery or she wouldn't be, killed, by society.
And that's the thing. 'Cause like she has 3 daughters and all of them are Ardak Yakshi.
That just goes to show, like Samara is just pumping out like super children.
Well, yeah, she kind of said that. She was like, when I was young, my younger days, you talk to her, she's like, my younger days, I was a pirate. I was going on ships and just banging dudes and stuff, whatever or something, just having a good time. So I mean, obviously that's where she ended up having kids that. Obviously became
badass.
Yeah, badass in many different ways. But, if you go to a monastery, a lot of times your Ardak Yakshi tendencies will be suppressed. But if they go unchecked, this is where you get to the whole point of Morinth is her daughter's name. Yeah, so you have to actually kind of like entice her to like take you back to her apartment, and this is where you can kind of like initiate some sort of connection with her, and then Samara comes in. And then you get into this big biotic battle where you can decide, like, Samara's like, we have to kill her. And Morinth is like, no, don't kill her. I'm more powerful than she is. You should side with me. And then,
I'll help you with your mission, yada, yada, yada.
If you're the type of person that picks Morinth over Samara, I don't want to know you.
Right?
I don't want to know you.
Right?
You can just unfriend me. Like in real life. But obviously Morinth is just kind of like a filler character.
Yeah.
And Samara, I don't know. She just means more. Like it's really kind of interesting. Like out of all the side characters that I loved and enjoyed talking to, I loved talking to her because she always like was like so philosophical and so worldly.
As a matter of fact, her and Kasumi both like they had like a Zen quality to them. It's like it's almost like they were soothing your soul every time you had a conversation with them and stuff like that. And that was definitely one of the cool things, you know. Like, but also Samara like she just gave you a lot of information on like life. You know,
Yeah.
it was crazy. You know,
Yeah, it really was. And even like honestly, like she would even be like, I know you don't understand this life because, she lives a very lonely life. And it's kind of hard to understand from that to this point. But she's like, I'm not here to try to explain to you why that is. I'm just here to tell you that's how it is. And,
yeah.
it is what it is. So,
Um,
but otherwise,
Legion had a loyalty mission too.
yeah, because this is
Which is funny. Which is funny. Like it's like we just got this guy, and he already wants you to go on a quest for him.
yeah, and it's actually a very important quest because I would say probably the most impactful in terms of the overall story, because not only do you find out that the Geth are kind of one hive mind, you end up finding out that the Geth that were part of Mass Effect 1 were revolted, basically.
Yeah.
So they were like a separate faction from the rest of the Geth. So they didn't reach a consensus, so to speak. So they broke away from the, machine system, so to speak, to go to the old machines. And they call the Reapers the old machines.
Mm-hmm.
And, you go to this large Geth ship, and this is where you can actually make the choice to rewrite the code for the Geth to be, I guess, docile.
Yeah.
Or you could elicit a virus that literally almost destroys them.
And you know what's really cool about this is that if you actually take Tali with you on this mission, like at the by the time we get to the point where you actually make the decision, even Tali's like second guessing everything.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Like you really have to pick and choose who you have as your squad mates.
And I always take Tali with me on that mission because this is where she kind of like. You can even hear a lot of the side banter where she's just like, I never thought I'd ever step foot on a Geth ship, much less a Geth hive ship, so to speak.
Yeah.
And this is where it's really kind of a learning lesson for her to see like what the Geth really are about, and almost come to find that, they're and a lot of times innocent. And this is where you get to find out how the Geth and the Quarians became the quarrel, because the Quarians created the Geth to serve them, but all of a sudden, once they started to become a little bit more sentient and asking questions like, does this unit have a soul? Stuff like that. This is where you get to find out that, oh no, that's in Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, that's in Mass Effect 3.
You
see the history of that in the Citadel.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
But here's the one thing I would recommend. Like when you're doing these loyalty missions, do Tallies first and then immediately do Legions right after that. Yeah. If you do them back to back, like you learn some of the biggest like lore of Mass Effect universe, with the Quarians and the Geth, if you do them back to back, because Tally's loyalty mission was messed up.
Because that's what I was referring to, because this is where you can actually get to see a little bit of, how the Quarians created the Geth, and then the Geth kind of started to question, and then, obviously they revolted because the Quarians attacked. The Geth are like, well, we got to defend ourselves. And then,
Tally's loyalty mission, her loyalty mission is like kind of like thrust upon everybody because they come, like the Quarians come and immediately request like Tally's presence back at the main fleet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
the migrant fleet.
And usually it's bad news when the Quarians like, hey, come back.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So Tally asked Shepard. Yeah, Tally asked Shepard to would he accompany her and everything, and because she feels like she's been away from the migrant fleet for so long that she feels like she's more, that the Normandy is more her home, and that the Normandy and its crew are more her tribe now and stuff like that. So when you go back, you come to find out that you're being put on trial because they think that while Tally's been on her pilgrimage and stuff, she's been doing stuff for her father, who they just discovered her father has been trying to re-network the Geth.
Yeah, because she's been sending Geth salvage, and she's claimed all that Geth salvage has been inactive every time I send it. And I thought he was just using it for research purposes, for like defense and stuff. But come to find out that he's actually repurposing this Geth technology to try to kind of like maybe unlock the code and get them to be more docile again, but obviously it ended
Yeah.
up backfiring.
Yeah, backfired on him. Yeah, because like he re-networked them and they immediately. I think it backfired on him because like he re-networked them trying to make them docile, and he basically re-networked them to where they were base programming and damn near. If you've watched enough sci-fi movies with AI and robots, you know like their base programming is always self-defense mode. Look at Terminator.
Yeah, exactly. When they're presented with a threat, their first instinct is to defend themselves, and there's no
Yeah.
going back from that. So
Yeah, so there was an incident on his ship, and what's even worse about it is that Tally's father is part of the Admiralty. Like he's one of the four people that make decisions for the entire like Quarian race,
yep.
their civilization, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
because
So
there's like the head person, and then there's like three other admirals that are part of this whole admiralty board.
yeah,
So
yeah, and
so basically, it's like Shepard is her lawyer in this process to like once you discover the plans, and this is where you can kind of like encourage this connection with Tally to say like, well, we have to admit all your father's crimes,
yeah,
and she's like, you know, don't do
yeah,
that, please. Don't
but
tarnish my
but
father's
if
name.
you do that exactly,
Yeah.
like she was really hesitant about it and stuff like that. Um, what was the other big? There was another big like turning point in that on that loyalty mission. Why am I forgetting it? Oh, actually, it's not so much a turning point. Like it, like depending on which gender your shepherd is, like it's crazy how like I in this instance, Fem Shep actually does a better job of defending.
Mm-hmm.
And even though they have the exact same lines and stuff, like Jennifer Hale just delivers that whole like scenario
Mm-hmm.
like much more heavily than the male version of Shepard did.
Yeah, especially when you drop the Paragon points. So long as your Paragon points are high, the
Yeah.
Paragon conversation wheel to say like Tally's bled for the Quarians, and done amazing things for the Quarians. It doesn't matter what we found on the ship. The fact that we destroyed the Geth, the problem's gone, everything's taken care of, and the fact that Tally is still here and still doing the Quarians' work. That's all the evidence you need of
Yeah.
Tally's innocence.
And I love how after everything's said and done, Tally changes her name to Tally Vas Normandy.
Yeah, because the last name is always indicative of the ship that they serve on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like her. I think in the beginning of the game, her name is Tali
Tally
Vasnima.
Zora
Tali Zora
something.
Vasnima.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So otherwise, I mean, who else we got here? That's
Let's see. We got Thane's loyalty mission.
yeah, which he's trying
We
to.
don't have to talk about Zaid. Like, Zaid is the most cookie cutter out of all the loyalty missions. Basically,
right.
you're just hunting down. Basically, just hunting somebody down.
Yeah. And obviously, he finds his comeuppance at the end when it's like you see what happens when you let rage get the best of you. Blah blah.
Yep.
Thane is trying to catch his son, who is trying to follow in his father's footsteps, because this is where you find out that Thane's wife died from a hitman. And it's Thane's fault because Thane was a well-known assassin, and his enemies wanted to punish him and obviously took his wife from him, which obviously led him on a very dark path of finding everybody responsible and taking care of all of them. He's like, I hunted down every single person that knew or participated in the heist, and I killed them ruthlessly. It's like, damn, bro. But obviously in this process, he abandoned his son, who was very young at the time. And his son tried to follow in his father's footsteps, almost in a way to kind of draw his father out because he's ready to kill this politician, this dirty politician, and then Thane comes in to, kind of help to kind of like, let his guard down and not go through with the kill. So one of my favorite scenes was obviously when you're trying to discover like who Thane's son is trying to go after. You're interrogating this kind of mob boss. And I don't know how you managed to go after this guy, but I ended up Hey, what's up?
Hey,
Okay.
hey. So what happened?
I don't know. All of a sudden, like, you just dropped. Like, I was like, my Wi-Fi is good and everything, but
Okay, yeah. See, you completely locked up, and I was like, something happened.
yeah, I don't know. It looked like you locked up too because I was like, oh, he's just still sitting there.
Yeah. What?
Oops, sorry. Okay.
Oh, okay. What happened?
Oh no, I hit the wrong button because I wanted to record another series. So
Oh,
I'm just gonna pick up now.
all right.
I'll do um, I'll do some post editing for Corey to make sure it's okay for him.
All right. Cool.
But yeah, I think I left off talking about Thane, chasing after Thane's
His son,
son. Yeah, and then
Koliot.
Koliat. Yeah. So one of my favorite scenes of that whole side quest was going after the guy that kind of knows where he's going, and like you could play good cop, bad cop with Thane when you're interrogating this dude.
Yeah.
And I think I talked about this where like you can go the full renegade route right from the beginning. And like the guy's like, I'm not talking to you. You're not the cops. You're not the police. You pull out a handgun and then you say, hey, you know what I am? I'm a Spectre. And that means I am above
Yes.
the police. That means I could do whatever I want. So you're going to tell me what I want to know right now. And the guy's like, okay, all right. This is where he's at. And then you walk out, and then Thane's like, that was the fastest interrogation I've ever seen.
Yeah. Thane is such a cool character, man. Like shoot, like even his design is cool. Like like I wonder when they designed the Jarrell, did they design him to be the face character?
Yeah, I don't know. Because it's the eyes really that kind of
Yeah.
make it make the Drell so unique, and I think they were. What was it? The Drell were taken up by the Volus, not the
No, no,
Volus.
no, no. The Hanar.
The Hanar.
The
Yeah,
Hanar.
that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the Hanar are like their gods, so to speak, because like the Drell were the Drell civilization were kind of strife with war and factions, and they almost like basically wiped themselves from extinction until the
Yeah.
Hanar came in to say like, hey, y'all should chill, come live with us for a little bit. So then basically they kind of were their caretakers for the longest time. I think that's kind of how the story went with the Drell.
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously you end up depending on how you worked it out with the Citadel security guard, like the main security guard, the chief
Bailey.
Bailey, yeah, Chief Bailey.
Yeah.
This is where you can elect to kind of have a good relation, like let Thane and Koliat kind of, I guess squash the beef, and then maybe reduce Koliat's sentence a little bit.
Yeah, because you wind up turning him over to CSEC
Yeah.
in the long run.
Mhm.
But if Thane is the one that actually talks him down out of it and stuff like that, like it lessens the sentence and it actually starts to repair their relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is good, and it'll definitely mean something once we get down to Mass Effect 3. So
Yep. All right. Were those? Oh, Jack's loyalty mission that was another heavy one.
yeah, because
Yeah.
that's where we find out Jack was kind of an experiment.
Yeah, Jack was an experiment, and you know what? It kind of almost parallels like what Caden went through, during his body training and stuff like that. Yeah, but Jax is just like on a total different level and stuff like that. So basically, you wind up going back to the facility where Jack and other biotics like her were raised at, as kids and stuff like that, and lo and behold, the guy was the guy Cerberus.
Yeah, he was Cerberus, but he was another one like Jack.
Yeah,
But he wanted to restart the program. He wanted to reopen the school, so to speak, because it was a school for biotic kids. And Jack would always talk about how she was the special one. She was subject 0, so to speak. She was the special one that had the most potential.
yeah, And yeah, so like you get back there, you learn about how she how like her and kids like her were like brought up and stuff like that. And then you run across the guy who was running the entire program and stuff. And of course, like, like she's a powerful ass biotic, so ripping the she's ripping the entire facility to pieces and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is one of those ones where, in all seriousness, like I scum saved this one because we knew that Jack really did want to kill this guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, like like my first initial go at this loyalty mission was like I had him like gun him down.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I saw how it resolved and everything, I was like, okay, let me roll my save back and actually do this the Paragon way, because you know me, I'm kind of a softie,
Yeah.
like my stats are usually like 90%, 96% Paragon and like 4% Renegade.
Yep. Well, that's, we talked about this before, that even the developers who track the game's progress and playthroughs, 90% of players go the Paragon route in these games.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the occasional break in Renegade. But
Yeah.
for the most part, everybody's first playthrough is the Paragon.
I mean, everyone's got a bad boy streak. Everybody's got it,
And it's always like I've talked about this before, where a lot of times I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do a second playthrough and I'm gonna go the Renegade route, and then all of a sudden I bitch out, and then I'm like, I can't be that mean.
like I can only punch but so many reporters.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I can punch all the reporters. Actually,
I can only be mean to my characters so much.
Nah, but you know what? Speaking of Renegade, like this game had the most ramifications for being Renegade.
Yes, it really did.
Like, I mean, this game had so many alternate scenarios for Renegade. Like, I mean, like shoot, like being a Renegade, you could get your people killed before the suicide mission even happened.
Yeah,
yeah,
as we talked about, especially with Samara.
Yeah, you can get your people killed before you can get the suicide mission. The suicide mission is universally where a lot of your main characters die, which we're about to get to that in a moment. I think those are all the notable loyalty missions.
Yeah, like Jacob Taylor.
Grunt. What was Grunt's loyalty mission? I can't remember.
Grunt wanted a clan to represent, because he felt like he's got all this violence in him, but he's like, I need a purpose. So you go to Tuchanka, and this is where you discover that we have to talk about Mordens. Mordens is a very important one too.
Yes,
but you go.
As a matter of fact, because Mordens actually has blowback into Mass Effect 3.
Yes, a very significant blowback. But you go to Tuchanka, which is the Krogan homeworld, and that's where you see Rex. Rex is like basically the leader of all the Krogan, and he's trying to kind of unite the clans. And then,
that's if you let him live on Vermar.
Yeah, of course. Otherwise,
you had to do his loyalty mission.
Yes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's his brother.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Reeve. Reeve. It's Reeve, right? His brother.
Reeve. Yeah.
Yeah. Reeve was not bad. Reeve was not bad. I liked him. He talked more shit than Rex, which is funny.
Because Rex does talk a lot of shit. So you got you have you do his loyalty mission, and then all of a sudden, like, he has to fight this big Thresher Maw, which is some giant, ground snake. And then it's like, okay, now he's part of a clan. And then Morden's mission on Tuchanka is there's one of his. You end up finding out Morden participated.
One of his former lab assistants.
Yeah. You end up finding out Morden participated in the genophage.
Mm-hmm.
Not the first round, but the second round.
Yeah.
Because I think once they found out that the first round of the genophage wasn't viable, they had to redo it again. And that's where, Morden was a part of it, and he was very proud of it. He was like, no, it was necessary. It was absolutely necessary. The Krogan needed to be subdued, so we had to do it. And
that's right. I remember the conversation because like Jacob was in the room too, and Jacob was like, wow, that's fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. You're just saying that out loud in front of all these people.
Yeah.
Like, we needed to sterilize this whole entire species. Jeez. But anyway, you end up finding out that one of his assistants regretted that and started to kind of experiment on all these Krogan and all these female Krogan to make them be able to birth, baby Krogan again. And obviously his experiments went a little bit awry. a lot of female Krogan died, which didn't sit well
Yeah,
with
like it
Morden.
was inhumane. Like what he was doing was inhumane.
Yeah, but
Which is funny, inhumane. Given that we just sterilized an entire species.
yeah, and I know
But
throughout the whole process, like you could actually kind of like give Morden shit, like like, hey, you caused this. This is your doing here. And Morden is just kind of completely antagonistic against you to the point where he's still like defending himself, but you can tell he's kind of having a little bit of damn it again. Oh, okay. I thought I lost you again.
it happened again.
Yeah. No, but yeah, so you have there's a little bit of antagonistic tendencies there with him and Shepard, where like Shepard is, giving him shit. Morden's like standing firm on it, but then he's also got a little bit of hesitancy in that, and a little bit of like, I don't know if maybe that wasn't the right thing to do. So you end up finding the guy, and then you could either destroy his research or keep the research, which obviously does have ramifications in 3.
Yeah, I remember like keeping the research, but didn't the guy get killed anyway?
No, I think he stayed alive. It was just basically you could choose to kill him too, or you could choose to let him go.
Yeah, I honestly can't remember that one. Even though like Morden is one of my favorite characters in the series, especially when you just going back and forth to his lab talking to him, and all of a sudden he starts belting out like HMS Pinafore by Gilbert and Sullivan.
Yeah, but he's like obviously doing the Solarian version of that song.
Yeah,
I am a modern scientific Solarian.
All right, yeah, those, yeah. Oh well, shit. We might as well just talk about Miranda's like real fast, because Miranda's was actually pretty good. Like Miranda's loyalty mission, basically like we know, like she tells us about how like she was built to be perfect and stuff like that. Like her genes were manipulated by her father, but she also had a younger sister, and when Miranda escaped, her dad, like she made sure that her sister was protected, which also meant like basically hiding her from their father. But ultimately their dad was like, okay, if I can't have you, I'm gonna get your sister and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so Miranda had been keeping tabs on her, and found out that their father found out where her sister was, and was coming to get her and stuff like that. So that was basically her loyalty mission, was go rescue her sister and stuff, make sure everything's okay and stuff. Relocate her, and then that's when Miranda has her confrontation with her father for what is the final time.
Yeah, at least up until 3.
Yes. Yeah.
So I am the very model of a scientist Solarian. I've studied species Turian, Asarian, Batarian. I'm quite good at genetics, the subject of biology, because I am an expert, which I know is tautology. My xenoscience studies range from urban to agrarian. I am the very model of a scientist Solarian.
God.
I didn't do it as good as he did, but I
no, yeah. Well, no, that was great though.
Tried to do my best. But yeah, I mean, Jacob had an interesting one where he had to go after his father, who he thought he died, but he was actually on a kind of derelict planet, and it was like a whole like apocalypse now type scenario where like
he's like an overlord.
Yeah, he is, and like he's like, well, I don't know where everything went wrong. Maybe it was because I poisoned my entire crew and I made them my own subjects. Maybe it had something to do with that. I don't know. But please forgive me, son. And Jacob's like, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, so it's time for the suicide mission.
So long as your crew is set, you get to the suicide mission, and if your ship is ready to go,
yeah, your ship has to have at least 85% of its resources done to help increase your chances of your crew, your squad mates coming back alive from this mission. It's called the suicide mission because basically it's one of those missions where like you could lose everybody to win the game, basically.
Yeah, and that's why those loyalty missions are important, because you want them to be focused, you want them to be committed, you want them to have zero distractions. So getting done what they need to get done to wipe their consciences clean to say, okay, I'm fully focused. My mind's not anywhere else. My emotions are invested anywhere else. This is where, I can give you my full 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, before we actually like get into some details about the suicide mission, I gotta know who'd you bump uglies with in this game?
Let's see. The one time I was my first playthrough, I bumped up uglies with Jacob because I was female.
He was female.
Yeah, and of course, naturally,
Was it even worth it? Was
no,
it
he
even
wasn't
worth
because
it?
no, because when you get to Mass Effect 3 and he dogs you, no, it wasn't worth it. Because all of a sudden he gives you the whole like, what was I supposed to do? Wait around for you? Like what? Anyway, it wasn't necessary. And here I was defending Jacob like just an hour ago.
Yeah.
But obviously, I think he was my first one, and then I think the second time around, it was Miranda.
Yeah, that was my what did they call it?
Your power move? I don't know.
No, power move.
I mean,
no.
For me, I just loved the power behind her. So I guess maybe that's
yeah.
why. Yeah.
Let's talk about the fact where she was the one on top.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Yeah. Okay.
There's a reason why I went for
her. So yeah. I can't wait to like replay that in the Legendary Edition because I need to see. I want to see if they reanimated that scene.
I gotta imagine they kept that intact.
All right, so here we are, the suicide mission. Basically, we're going to go through the Omega 4 relay, get to the land of the Reapers and where the collector's main ship is at and everything. And the purpose is to not only rescue our crew, but we're also there to stop the Reapers from making the invasion. Which by the way, speaking of Reaper invasions, there's one more bit of DLC that you can play either before or after the game, and it's called The Arrival.
Yep.
Basically, Admiral Hackett gives you a mission that says, "Hey, like somebody I know." It was actually an old love interest of his. Somebody I know has crucial information about a possible upcoming Reaper invasion. And
which they timed, like they say, like it's within hours.
Yeah. And basically because Shepard is like Hackett and Anderson are the only ones who still believe Shepard knows anything about the Reapers at this point. So Hackett gives him the mission if he wants it, and you have a chance to go, and you do stop a Vanguard invasion from the Reapers. Yeah.
At what cost though?
Oh yeah. That's the thing about it, though. So basically, Admiral Hackett's contact, I can't remember her name, but she basically does give you some information that does indicate that the Reapers are coming, but she's also put false information in it to mislead like anyone that's trying to track Reaper movement and stuff like that. Because guess what? She's been indoctrinated.
Of course, as with everybody else on the damn ship.
Yeah.
Or the damn base. Amanda Kenson, that's her name.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. So once you find out that you've been double crossed by her, and you wind up being faced with a terrible choice, destroying a relay. But the only way you can destroy a relay is to hurl a colony base directly into it and destroy the relay. That relay will shut down that part of the network, which will make the Reaper advancement into our galaxy take a little bit longer. It's coming and stuff like that. Over 380,000 Batarians lose their life.
Yeah, and basically isolates them from the entire galaxy as well. Because now they have no Mass Effect relay to travel through.
They have no mass relays to travel through to actually get away from the Reaper invasion when it comes, because the Batarian space is the first plot of space they're going to come through anyway. It doesn't matter if there's a relay there or not. The Batarian territories are on the outermost fringes of the Milky Way galaxy, so that's where the Reapers would show up first.
And that's the funny thing, because you can't make another alternative.
Yeah, yeah, you can't.
Because if you decide I don't want to do this, the Reapers come and that's game over. Because
Yeah,
that was my first.
yeah.
That was my first choice. That was my first choice when I first played this. Because I was like, I'm not gonna do this. I guess I'll just figure out the Reaper situation when they come through, and all of a sudden I find out that gives me game over.
Maybe I was a bit of a an asshole because okay, so I played the Arrival after I completed the game.
Yeah, same.
Because you still have the option of doing it after you beat the game, after the credits roll and stuff. Because like when you jump back into your game, oh, you're on the bridge of the Normandy. Like what else there's left to do now? So like that. So I did it after the suicide mission. After all that, and I was pretty selfish in the reason why I did what I did. The Batarians were just assholes.
The Batarians are assholes. I mean, I'll give you that.
The entire game,
yeah.
They were slavers. They messed up my boy Garrus's face.
Mm-hmm. That's enough to launch an asteroid into their damn planet.
Yeah, the Batarians, for lack of a better word, they were deplorable.
Yeah.
And so I was like, so I was out for a little bit of bloodlust, like I had my Captain Kirk let them die moment.
Mm-hmm. You are a Trekkie.
Yep. Yep. All right. So the suicide mission, basically it's an infiltration, onto the collector base where the Reapers are making a brand new version of the Reaper, which, spoiler alert, this Reaper is based off of humans.
Yeah, because the Reapers actually design their foot soldiers and even their overall machine design based on whatever species that they harvest, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I imagine the Reaper design was the initial Reaper design of their ships was from a former species that they may have harvested, thousands and thousands of years ago. And then obviously the collectors were harvested from Prothean data, or Prothean species. So they're trying to take all this human goo that they, have been collecting and making a human Reaper and seeing how that works.
Yeah. Can you imagine seeing a human Reaper like Supermaning through space?
Yes. You'd be looking up at it like, so that's a thing. Jesus.
All right. So first thing that happens is like you bust onto the collector ship. You actually rescue what's left of your crew. There's a caveat to this. Like, your crew has been stuck with the collectors that entire time, and depending on how much time you dawdle doing stuff, like it could be the difference between rescuing your entire crew or rescuing none of your crew.
Yeah.
And when I say none of your crew, some people do get spared from becoming like humanoid soup, but they don't survive getting back to the ship.
Or you can watch Yeoman Chambers get, destroyed and spurned into this vat of goo right in front of your eyes. When I first got to that scene, I was like,
yeah, that was crazy.
That was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
One of the most important things about this is where you get to the planning phase where you get the schematics of the ship and you start to kind of you're there with your whole team and you're like, this is where we get in. This is how we do it. We need someone to go through here. Who's able to do that? Okay, let's get through here. Tally, you do this. And then this is my ground team, so to speak. This person goes there, that person goes there. You actually get to make the decisions based on the knowledge that you need. So, hey, we need someone with good tech abilities here. We need someone with good biotic abilities here. Well, I can do that. Well, yeah, but I think this person can do better. So,
yeah. Yep. So was it 2 teams or 3 teams? It's 3 teams. It's 3 teams. One team is specifically to get the people you rescue back to Normandy safely.
But I think it was actually just literally one person, which I always send Zaid.
Yeah,
I'm always like, who do you want to go with the crew? Because obviously, once you go with them, they're no longer part of your crew. It's like, Zaid, get the fuck out of here.
You need your biotics to actually shield your groups from the ones that are actually getting into the Reaper base they've got to fight off the swarms.
Yep, for sure. And usually it's either kind of because in those instances I always pick Miranda to be running the second team when you get further into the collectorship. I usually have Jacob running the first team on the first storming the first part of the base.
Yeah.
And then Tally when you need her tech abilities to open the door.
Kasumi's also good at that too.
Kasumi's good at it. Don't pick Morden.
Yeah.
Don't pick Morden.
Oh, don't.
Don't.
He'll die.
He'll die.
He'll die.
Don't do that.
Yeah. And it all culminates once you get let me see. Once you get to, I can't remember. Do you see Harbinger first? Oh, by the way, Harbinger. That's the person that's been assuming control of certain collectors.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you have and Harbinger is a Reaper, and he has a cool name, Harbinger. Harbinger actually means like the herald or the messenger of something cataclysmic. So he had the perfect name. Harbinger is actually, as far as bad guys go, he's my favorite bad guy.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, obviously him saying we are the harbinger of your destruction. It's like, oh, that makes sense why you're called that.
I'm like, hold on, man. We have a literal Reaper talking shit to us because Harbinger is the same person that lets you know in the Arrival DLC that no matter what you do, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're coming.
The Reapers are coming. Yeah. So like Harbinger's talking shit to you the entire game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even that was him in the first one, right? When you discovered him on Vermeer, right?
Was it?
I think that was.
No. That was Sovereign.
Was it Sovereign?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe. Yeah, you're right. Maybe it was. Yeah, because he was connected to the whole.
Sovereign.
Yeah.
Sovereign was talking to you on Vermeer.
That was it. Yeah.
And then Harbinger was talking to you. Harbinger was dogging you in Mass Effect 2.
Mm.
And then Harbinger is the one that actually lands in London on Mass Effect 3.
Yeah. Because obviously he's like, I got a personal vendetta with this guy.
You're like, oh, the Normandy's right there. Oh, that means that Shepard motherfucker's there. I got this one.
Yeah, I got this one. And you let him go again.
Yeah. So you have one last confrontation. Actually, so I can't remember. Do you have the confrontation with the humanoid Reaper first, and then you have the confrontation with Harbinger, or is it Harbinger then the Reaper?
Harbinger then the Reaper.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, because you end up taking the Reaper down, and then it's like, okay, all right, this is where we have to basically plant the nuke, so to speak, to destroy the whole base, and this is where the Illusive Man comes in.
And wants you to salvage the Reaper.
Yeah.
For science.
Yeah, for science. Yeah. Illusive Man comes in. It's like, hey, let me stop you for a minute there. There's a lot of good shit here we could use. And Shepard's like, nope, not listening to you. And then who, out of all the people in your group, who's the one that hangs up on him? Especially if you take Miranda with you.
Oh, yeah.
She's the one that's like, I'm hanging up on you now.
Yeah, like this. I'm tendering my resignation right now.
Yeah, effective now. Click.
Yeah. All right. So nuke goes off. Like the galaxy's saved for now.
Mm-hmm.
The Illusive Man is pissed off at you. the Normandy smashed to pieces again.
Yep. I mean, it's in pieces, but it's okay.
It's space worthy.
Yeah, it's space worthy. It could at least fly.
Yeah. Yep. And there you have it. Basically, the master plan is that now we know that every 50,000 years, the Reapers aren't just wiping out all life in the galaxy. Well, all advanced life in the galaxy. They're always collecting one species from each cycle to be repurposed to serve them.
Yeah.
In the process to make their next cycle that much easier.
And I think that's what made it a little bit more difficult, for people to understand, like other species to understand, because it's like, well, this sounds like this is an exclusive human problem.
Yeah.
And Shepard's like, no, I mean, yeah, maybe, but this is everybody's problem.
It's funny though. Because like, why is it humanity though? I don't understand because I think
it was something with their genetic makeup.
Yeah, but in this cycle, the Asari are the most advanced of the civilizations.
Yeah. I don't know if they were the most unstable.
Crazy.
Yeah. I don't know.
It could be because it could be because Samara keeps pumping out like insane, bitches.
Yeah, right? No kidding. Like 3? Man, let it go.
Right?
I'd have stopped after the second one.
Like tie them tubes, lady.
Yeah, right? After the second one, I'd have been like, maybe this isn't a good idea. No, yeah. I know it had something to do with their genetic makeup, the humans' genetic makeup that made them better candidates for their plan. I don't know exactly
Mm.
what it was, but I know humans were picked specific for a specific reason.
God, we need to stop being basic.
Yeah, I know. No kidding. We need more details.
Well, I think that's it. I think we hit everything major.
Yeah,
Like we
we
even
really
talked
did.
about. Oh, we need to circle back to the layer to Shadow Broker
Yes,
because
that's
we
right.
didn't quite finish that. We
Yeah,
didn't
we did.
quite finish that. All right. So back on Ilium after Liara finds out that her own secretary is doing her dirty and stuff. That's a funny scene, by the way.
Yep.
You know, Liara, after you leave Ilium, you wind up getting a message from Liara later on in the game. I can't remember how many cycles. It's not immediately after you leave, but you get a
Hmm.
message from her saying that she's actually located what she believes is where the Shadow Broker is hiding out at. He's on a ship that's anchored inside the orbit of a gas giant planet, which just think Jupiter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like
for
he's
the
basically on a giant storm planet, which makes him easy to mask in terms of,
yeah,
not getting caught.
yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, it's just you and Liara. Like you cannot take a third squad.
Yeah, yeah. When you storm the ship, you could take a third squad member with you. Oh my fucking internet! God damn it! I think this is going to be audio only. I'm not gonna mess with the video on this. That's for sure.
All
Sorry
right.
about.
I feel like we're about wrapped up anyway.
Yeah, we are. So
All right. All right.
but
Um.
but yeah, I mean to kind of finish up, you basically storm the Shadow Broker base and you find out it's like this giant monster, so to speak. And I forget what the
Yeah,
name
it's
of the.
like a species they thought were extinct.
Yeah. So he's been kind of like running behind the scenes, and then all of a sudden, once you kill the Shadow Broker, all of a sudden, like all these people are
Every
like on this network are
every
checking
every
in.
agent,
Yeah.
yeah, every agent that works for Shadow Broker, and that's when Liara makes the discovery that none of these people have ever seen the Shadow Broker. They they don't know if it's a he or a she and stuff like that. And because the Shadow Broker is always using some type of encryption for their voice, they don't even know if whoever speaks on the line is the actual person or not and stuff like that. So Liara becomes the Shadow Broker who is quote unquote one of the most powerful people in the galaxy.
Yep. Who has unlimited funds, unlimited resources, unlimited utilities, everything. So
And I will tell you this: it is a major plot point for the next game.
yep, definitely is. That is definitely something that's going to be necessary for the fight against the Reapers when we get to 3. So let's
Yep.
end this episode before my internet craps out again.
Yeah, sure.
Friggin' AT&T. Well, that wraps it up for this week. LeRon, thank you so much for
Oh
joining
man,
me
my
on
pleasure.
this journey. I mean,
My pleasure.
Everyone knows.
We're like a virus. We're like a virus. Everybody in Boss Rush is playing Mass Effect right now because of us.
Well, you know, it's I'm just everyone knows that I love Mass Effect, and I love talking about it, and it's about time finally it starts to spread amongst the other network people. So
Yeah, yeah, I know this. Stephanie says she's going to be playing it soon because she definitely wants to. She definitely wants to be into it by the time Mass Effect 5 comes out.
well, it's going to be a long time until Mass Effect 5
Yeah,
comes out. Long time.
because I think the latest report says they just started laying the groundwork for it.
Yeah, because obviously I think their first focus is Dragon Age 4, so they probably got like a small team kind of working on Mass Effect 5 right now, just kind of
Yeah,
laying the groundwork down, and then once Dragon Age 4 is done, then they can go full steam ahead on 5.
yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't have an outro, so this is Standard Definition, the entertainment podcast show on the Boss Rush Network. You can follow the Boss Rush Network on Twitter at Boss Rush Network, and check out bossrush.net to find news, editorials, banter pieces, and more. LeRon, where can our people follow you?
You can follow me on social media, Twitter or Instagram at Exodus803, EXODUS803. Also look for me on Twitch and YouTube under that moniker as well. I am the host of Crossroads, the PlayStation podcast for Boss Rush Network. You can find that every Tuesday night on twitch.tv/Exodus803. At 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And not only am I part of the Mass Effect Standard Definition series, but I am also one of the people on the Marvel Cinematic Universe Standard Definition. So, like, if you want to hear us like be nerds and talk about all the various different projects in the MCU, that's the one to check out for sure. And don't forget Wednesday nights Boss Rush Podcast.
So, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm on the EXP Cast, a video game podcast. We're part of the Boss Rush Network. You can follow us there on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at EXP Cast, and also my personal Twitter and Instagram at Stoy MKE8. So,
Awesome.
all right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Bye.
Have a good night.